I heard you went to South Peace State, or I would have went to pay high to find you. Ling Zhongtian Qianbei was found, but his dantian was heavily injured. So was his soul. The immortal Herb Valley sect leader Ming Xian and Pill Association leader Nong Jingxian and Vice Association leader Wang Cangjian are all there, but they aren't able to save him. Cheng Yejuan said, I heard you went to South Peace State, or I would have went to pay high to find you. Ling Zhongtian Qianbei was found, but his dantian was heavily injured. So was his soul. The immortal Herb Valley sect leader Ming Xian and Pill Association leader Nong Jingxian and Vice Association leader Wang Cangjian are all there, but they aren't able to save him. Cheng Yejuan said. Yi Mo dazed. Ling Zihongtian appeared? Seeing Yi Mo was confused, Cheng Yejuan quickly said, Ling Qianbei was saved by a Qianbei called Mengzhen. Even Ling Qianbei can't see through Mengzhen's power. But that Mengzhen Qianbei left after bringing Ling Qianbei here. He said he was here to find someone. Hearing this name, Yi Mo soon remembered who it was. It was that cultivator who was chased by Feng Yizong. He was probably Truth Realization State Level 9. Yi Mo didn't expect him to chase over the Heartless Sea to North Far State. Clearly, he was a warm-hearted person to send Ling Zhongtian back, but he wasn't from Luoyu continent. Who would he be looking for? What are you doing here? Yi Mo asked again. This place had little spirit chi. I'm here to invite Pill Cauldron sect leader Qiao. He's level 3 Pill King now. Perhaps he has a way to cure Ling Qianbei, but that's not necessary now. Yi Mo, come with me. Ling Zihongtian Qianbei is irreplaceable in North Far State. Now that 9-headed void-devouring bug appeared in North Far State, we need him to gather the power of North Far State. Cheng Yejuan said genuinely. Yi Mo nodded. Ling Zhongtian wasn't very powerful, but he was much more charismatic than Shandi and Tang Mengrao. Yi Mo smiled. I've already killed that 9-headed void-devouring bug. No need to worry. Huh? Cheng Yejuan looked dazedly at Yi Mo. He knew Yi Mo was a pill concoction prodigy, but didn't know Yi Mo was a truth realization state cultivator. Yi Mo patted him. No need to be shocked. I have a way to counter it, and it was through luck that I annihilated it. So that's it. Cheng Yejuan nodded dubiously. He only heard that the 9-headed void-devouring bug was ravaging North Far State. He didn't know there was a Hong Yixing with it too. Cheng Yejuan added, after inviting sect leader Qiao, I was going to take the teleportation formation to Pei Hai City. Yi Mo asked in confusion, there are so many cultivators, why are you the one running around? Cheng Yejuan knew that Yi Mo meant to say a golden core state was too slow, but he quickly explained, in order to save Ling Qianbei, everyone moved out. Those higher-level cultivators want to find spirit herb. I have the easiest job of running around. Then why are you going to Pei Hai City? Yi Mo asked again. It's said that the MOU pills are very high quality. I want to see if there would be a pill suitable for Ling Qianbei. By the way, Tang Qianbei said she went to South Peace State to find someone to annihilate the 9-headed void-devouring bug. Now that you've already annihilated it, Tang Qianbei probably don't need to go. I have to tell her this if she hasn't left yet, but I'm afraid she had already gone. Cheng Yejuan said. Cheng Yejuan seemed to have thought of something and added, Broken Leaf City Pill Association Vice Leader Wang Cangjian and Sect Leader Ming Xian were chatting about how a few days ago, a cultivator whose power was unable to be seen bringing a young girl around to search for your news. They're probably looking for you. Association Leader Wang said you have business in Pei Hai City, so you're probably there. Yi Mo immediately thought of Yi Mo and asked desperately, what are they called? That I don't know. That person didn't say either. Cheng Yejuan shook his head. Yi Mo didn't have the mood to go with Cheng Yejuan anymore. He gave him 3 jade bottles and said 2 of the pills are for Ling Zhongtian's wounds. Another one is a gift. The rest of the pills are yours. You know what pills they are. I'm not going with you. I'm going back to Pei Hai City immediately. Then, Yi Mo took out Blue Moon and disappeared. Cheng Yejuan looked at the direction Yi Mo disappeared in confusion and then took out those pills. His face changed immediately. This is spirit recovery pill made with 10,000 year stalagmite marrow? I can't even recognize the other pills. When Yi Mo opened the bottle with only 1 pill, he called out in shock, Truth Spirit Pill. Never had he thought that Yi Mo would give such a precious pill to him to bring to Ling Zhongtian. His heart was throbbing with this trust. He didn't think much and didn't even open the bottle for him. He quickly put them away and released his flying magic artifact and disappeared too. He didn't dare to waste time with such responsibility on him. North Far State wasn't small, but it was nothing compared to South Peace State and West Extreme State. In less than a day, Yimo arrived at Peihai City. Yimo scanned his spirit sense in. It was much more prosperous than before. With this many cultivators here, it probably had to do with the nine-headed void devouring bug. MOU became the #1 cultivation merchant association. Yimo saw Jing Xiashin and Li Jingguin, but he didn't see Yimo. Yimo's mood fell down immediately. He put away Blue Moon and entered Peihai. The guards all knew Yimo, and Yimo's arrival instantly spread. The city lord Qi Ziyu and Li Jingguin all came out to greet him. Even Shan Di ran out nervously. Tang Mingrao went to South Peace State to find Yimo, but Yimo came nad Tang Mingrao wasn't here. Shan Di couldn't hold it. He was scared of Yimo, but he still asked, Pil Qingyi, sect leader Tang went to South Peace State to ask for your help. Yimo waved his hand. I've already annihilated that nine-headed void-devouring bug and killed that Hong Yixing. Don't worry about North Far State. Go do what you need to do. Everyone was shook. They knew the power of the nine-headed void-devouring bug and its master. Shan Di was truth realization state and had a forbidden technique and was very far, thus he survived. Yet, Yimo casually said he annihilated them. Just how powerful was he now? Shan Di I could tell Yimo was truth realization state tertiary stage, but he wasn't sure. This was too absurd. Yimo didn't have the mood to talk and just went back to MOU. Before Yimo even asked in the MOU meeting hall, Shen Xiaoshan said desperately, Yimo has been found. Her master sent her here. It said that Yimo's master is truth realization state level 9 and Yimo is hollow spirit state herself. Huh. Yimo got up in surprise and joy. He didn't even know what to ask. He didn't expect his guess to be right. Yimo really came back. He immediately thought of the truth realization state level 9 being hunted by Hong Yixing. Was he Yimo's master? After a long while, Yimo suppressed his joy. Where is Yimo? Why don't I see her? Suyu quickly said, sect leader Tang took the teleportation formation to South Peace State and was scared that the nine-headed void-devouring bug would attack here, so she took Yimo to South Peace State. Yimo was a little disappointed that he missed his daughter, but he breathed easy. With Tang Mingrao's truth realization state power, they were clearly fine. The teleportation formation in South Peace State was in Mo High City. There was no high-level spirit beasts there, so there was no danger. With his status in South Peace State, they would probably be fine. The teleportation formation was damaged heavily, and Tang Mingrao was barely able to leave. Yimo had decided to repair it and then leave through it. Yimo was repairing the teleportation formation while helping MOU concoct some high-level pills. Yimo was repairing the teleportation formation while helping MOU concoct some high-level pills. The nine-headed void-devouring bug was killed by Yimo, so the cultivators hiding in Peihai City all left. They all came to say goodbye to Yimo. There were quite some sects at Peihai City too. 2 days later, Yimo repaired the Peihai teleportation formation and the city emptied up. There was still a lot of people, but not as abnormal as before. The day Yimo finished repairing the teleportation formation, Yimo left North Far State. Standing at Mo High City again, Yimo exclaimed. He went from Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds to West Extreme State, and then from there to North Far State. Now, he took teleportation formation back to South Peace State. Other than East Black State that he hadn't been, Luoyu Continent's 3 states were like his backyard. Yimo headed to the teleportation formation immediately. He was going to go South Peace City and then fly home to MOU City. But as soon as Yimo came here, he felt an unusual temperature. 2 Golden Core State cultivators were discussing outside the teleportation formation hall. I'm certain that female cultivator is a truth realization state Qian Bei. She crushed that cauldron-filling state cultivator with one hand. It's definitely cultivation essence giant hand. Wan Yi has been an overlord at Mo High City because his father is a cauldron-filling state powerful being and the vice city lord. Now, he met someone tough. He even dared to harass truth realization state Qian Bei's disciple. This is asking for death. But that truth realization state Qian Bei's disciple is indeed really pretty. Yimo heard this and immediately thought of Tang Mingrao and Yimo. Was that Wan Yi harassing Yimo and was killed by Tang Mingrao? Yimo felt it wasn't so. If he encountered this, he would kill the person, but Tang Mingrao brought Yimo to South Peace State. She knew there were countless masters here. How could she be so impulsive? Suddenly, the Golden Core State cultivators found out there was someone in front of them. They couldn't see Yimo's power level, and yet he came before them without a sound. Qianbei, the Golden Core State Level 4, got up nervously. Yimo nodded. I heard you guys talk about a truth realization state, Qianbei, taking a young girl here, and killed the Vice City Lord and his son, right? One of them nervously said, Qianbei, we, Yimo smiled. No need to be nervous. That female cultivator is my friend, so I'm just asking. Don't worry. What happened? Do you know where she went after killing those two? Did she leave through teleportation formation? Hearing this, the two Golden Core State finally felt assured. Now that Yimo asked about her, the Golden Core State Level 4 quickly replied, yes, it happened on the main street. The truth realization state Qian Bei killed Luan Yidu. Many cultivators saw this. Then the Vice City Lord Luan Chong came. He was also crushed by the Qian Bei's cultivation essence giant hand. But she didn't leave through the teleportation formation. After that, the truth realization state elder of the city came, and they started fighting. Hearing this, Yimo was shook. Tang Mingrao was only truth realization state level 1. How could she fight other truth realization state cultivators? He then asked desperately, then what happened? The Golden Core State shook his head. We don't know. The Imo High City Truth Realization State Qian Bei didn't want to break the city, so they went to the Heartless Sea to fight. We don't know the results. Where is the young girl? Yimo asked. The Golden Core State answered. The female cultivator took the girl with her. They left towards east. The Golden Core State added, I heard the other Truth Realization State elder of the city also chased over. When was this? Yimo was worried. Tang Mingrao couldn't even beat one truth realization state, much less two. Yesterday, the Golden Core State answered, but realized the cultivator had disappeared. Another truth realization state, Qian Bei. The two glanced at each other and quickly left this hall. Yimo released Blue Moon and brought its speed to the max. He didn't know why Tang Mingrao still hadn't left Imo High City till up to yesterday, but she was in danger. Yimo used his strong dimensional sense to find some space ripples. The battlegrounds of Truth Realization State Cultivator would still have some minor residue even after a day, but even Yimo could only barely find it. Rumble. A huge explosion sounded in the Heartless Sea. Yimo chased over without hesitation. When Yimo saw the three people there, he immediately knew he completely guessed wrong. There were two bodies on the island. One man and woman were at a standoff. Both of them were Truth Realization State peak stage. The male cultivator was heavily injured. He detonated some rune, but it didn't injure the female cultivator, and instead disrupted his cultivation essence. Yimo didn't know this female cultivator, but she was much prettier than Tang Mingrao, and had this royal temperament. More importantly, the girl watching wasn't Yimo, but Yimo knew her. Yimo suddenly waved to the girl, Jie Yuning. Long time no see. How is your father? Yimo suddenly appeared there on the island, but when the female cultivator saw Yimo was only Truth Realization State Level 7, the female cultivator showed a contemptuous look. She only started watching Yimo again when she heard he knew the girl. You're Yi Qianbei. The girl immediately ran to Yimo's side. That's right, I'm Yimo. Why aren't you with your father? It's quite some journey from your Zhuyin Island to here. Why did you guys run so far? Yimo smiled and asked. The girl's eyes went red and sniffed. I don't even know if my father is alive or not. We three sisters ran out with Ani. And then, the girl glanced at the female cultivator and didn't dare to keep talking. Yimo felt the eeriness of things. Jie Yuning seemed to be scared of this truth realization state female cultivator. If she was her auntie, she shouldn't be scared of her. Plus, Jie Feng was truth realization state peak stage. His cultivation essence and spirit sense were very powerful. Who would dare to do anything to Zhuyin Island? Yimo said to the girl Yuning, I'm friends with your father. If you have anything, tell me. I will help you. You can leave with me. I really don't believe anyone dares to do anything to you. Michim. Her father seemed to have told her about Yimo's power, and she boldened up. The female cultivator sneered, such big words. Yimo didn't know the relationship between the two, so he ignored her and said, Tell me what's going on. The girl glanced at the beautiful truth realization state, peak stage female cultivator, and said carefully, I'm actually Jiayokue. Yuning is my little sister. Emo coughed awkwardly, my bad, continue. A mere truth realization state, level 7 dares to be this cocky. The female cultivator said to the young girl, Jiayokue, stand on the side. I'm going to kill furs. Teep, the heavily injured man, said to Emo friend. This demon killed the vice city lord of Mo High City and killed 2 truth realization state elders. Her power is very powerful. We need to join up against her. Haha. The beautiful female cultivator laughed as though hearing a ridiculous joke. I'm also planning to annihilate the entire Mo High City. What are you going to do? The female cultivator said coldly. I'm also planning to annihilate the entire Mo High City. What are you going to do? The female cultivator said coldly. Emo frowned and asked Jiayokue, who is she to you? Jiayokue didn't dare to look up and said quietly, I don't know her, but she wants to take me back to some palace to be some young palace lord. The female cultivator sneered, that's right, it's your fortune. My ice god palace young palace lord is too timid. I'm going to change one. You're lucky to be chosen by me. This beautiful female cultivator was ice god palace Lord Lang Ying. She came with the big manager to come find who killed her son Lang Yu. Dai Yun was good, but her character was too soft. She wasn't her best choice. She was about to immortal ascension and couldn't find someone to replace Ting Ting, but now she saw Jiayokue in the Heartless Sea. She was young and pretty, but also very talented. She favored Jiayokue immediately. Ice God Palace Lord? Emo immediately thought of Lang Yu. It seems this was really passed down the family. They were all very selfish and did what they liked. So it's Ice God Palace people. No wonder you're so selfish. Emo sneered. In the demon prison Forbidden Grounds, there was a trash called Lang Yu. I killed him because he wanted to kill my disciple. Could it be? Before Emo finished, Lang Ying's eyes were about to burst out. She went crazy and her force burst out as though about to devour Emo. So you killed my son. If I don't slice your essence spirit to pieces and burn them one by one, I swear I'm not a human. There was crazy killing intent in Lang Ying's eyes. In her eyes, only her son could kill other people, and they weren't allowed to resist. Jiayokue was shook and retreated. Emo just waved his hand calmly, and all his crazy killing intent was swept away as though nothing happened here. That heavily injured truth realization state cultivator was planning to run when he saw Lang Ying's attention was focused on Emo, but after seeing what Emo did, he immediately knew Emo wasn't ordinary too and stopped. Seeing this, Lang Ying dazed and the craze disappeared from her eyes. She calmed down and flung out a messenger flying sword. Emo didn't seem to see this. Lang Ying was rather strong amongst truth realization state tertiary stage, but he didn't care. Could she compare with Suwa Anshan, Hong Yixing? She was at most a Yuzhian, but in fact she was far from Yuzhian. I remember, you're the city lord Emo who killed 11 truth realization state of Pill City and annihilated 9-star sect Lightning Cloud sect and Infinity sect. The heavily injured truth realization state finally remembered who Emo was. He realized he was probably safe now. Emo was extremely powerful, unrivaled in the same state, but he never killed innocents. He had no enmity with him, so Emo probably wouldn't kill him. No matter how powerful this female cultivator, she wouldn't be able to beat Emo without a doubt. She suddenly stopped the purple gold band she released. She completely calmed down now. Emo easily annihilating her killing force made her take him seriously but not feel threatened. But this truth realization state on the side said, he killed 11 truth realization states and annihilated 2 9-star sections. This made her not only feel threatened but astonished. She rarely came to South Peace State, but it didn't mean she didn't know Pill City, Lightning Cloud Sect, and Infinity Sect. Any of them were on par with her Ice God Palace. This guy could annihilate these 2 sects and challenge the Pill City. Didn't that mean he could easily annihilate her Ice God Palace? She was protective and trusted in her power, but she was no idiot. Seeing her fury retreat, Emo said calmly, weren't you going to tear my essence spirit to pieces and burn them one by one? Why don't you attack? If you're not going to fight, I'm going to go. I don't like to fight women. Jiayokue watched with surprise and joy. She could tell this palace lord felt very threatened by Emo. Langing finally couldn't bear the scorn and released her purple gold band. Purple gold light covered the heavens as they swept towards Emo. The truth realization state quickly retreated. He knew that if this band formed a humanoid wave ring, cultivation essence and even spirit sense would be bound. He was bound by that, and in his worry detonated a rune to escape. He thought Emo would be very powerful, and Langing wouldn't be able to do anything to him. However, Emo was caught in one round. The band had no form, but it looked like a colorful rope wrapping Emo tightly. This magic artifact was so powerful. This was the first time Emo saw a magic artifact that could bind cultivation essence and spirit sense. However, it was useless to him. Langing didn't expect her to succeed this quickly. She was overjoyed. She thought she would need to use her 13 purple gold sword self-destruction to injure Emo. She knew that by the time her magic artifact formed a humanoid wave, no one would be able to break free. There was a cruel look on Lang Ying's face seeing that her magic artifact bound Emo. She kept inserting cultivation essence in wanting to completely bind Emo. Emo sneered and released a few spirit sense blades. The waved band immediately were falling apart. Before Lang Ying could react, Zissou hacked out. Thud. Lang Ying felt the backlash of her magic artifact and immediately spat a few mouthful of blood. She completely don't understand how Emo broke free. She quickly used a few more hand signs before the band completely collapsed. 13 purple gold flying sword flew out faster than lightning. Rumble. The sword rays tore through space, creating waves of distortion ripples. The battle was in an instant, and there were multiple explosions. The injured truth realization state, peak stage, looked dazedly at the 13 swords and realized she didn't use her full power when fighting him. Lang Ying breathed easy. The self-destruction of her 13 purple gold sword made her lose a top-grade magic artifact, but she finally killed him. Moments later, she was completely dumbfounded. Emo appeared after the explosions, only his hair was a little messy. She really didn't understand how Emo was fine. Even a body refinement cultivator wouldn't be able to survive that unscathed. Yet, Emo was perfectly fine. Emo was very annoyed. The self-destruction was so fast that even he didn't react fast enough. Before Lang Ying could react, Zissou hacked out, Illusion Cloud Hua Mountain. Seeing this, Lang Ying wanted to retreat, but she felt that space around her had turned to solid. Just taking one step back was extremely hard. Such powerful domain. Lang Ying looked at the nearing purple ray in despair. Lang Ying saw the big elder Wang Wan, but she didn't have much anticipation. Even she was no match for this absurd young man, much less Wang Wan. She hoped Wang Wan would be able to save her essence spirit. Lang Ying saw the big elder Wang Wan, but she didn't have much anticipation. Even she was no match for this absurd young man, much less Wang Wan. She hoped Wang Wan would be able to save her essence spirit. Wang Wan just got here and saw Emo kill Lang Ying with one strike. He was scared soulless. He knew the power of the Palace Lord too well. He definitely couldn't beat her. It's been a while since Palace Lord asked for help, and thus it was clear that the young man beat the Palace Lord head-on. Facing such person, going over was suicide. Without hesitation, he released all his power and the rainbow cloud in the sky rustled. You actually started your immortal ascension, divine damnation. Lang Ying looked at Wang Wan in fury. She was hoping for her loyal big elder to save her essence spirit, but he instantly went to immortal ascension. Purple flame moved and Lang Ying couldn't keep thinking anymore. Emo didn't know that killing Lang Ying equal to saving Ting Ting and Njichi. He didn't like to leave threats behind. Since there was already conflict between them, he might as well end it now. Seeing Wang Wan suddenly go immortal ascension, he immediately knew this guy was from Ice God Palace, but now, he couldn't kill him in time. Ox novel. COM? Thank you City Lord Yi for saving me. I'm number 1 elder of Mo High City Chiu Baiyu. This demon killed the Vice City Lord and 2 Truth Realization State elders. If City Lord Yi didn't come over, I would be dead for sure. Chiu Baiyu was very grateful to Emo. Emo said calmly, how come I heard that Vice City Lord is very murderous? If I see that type of trash I would kill him too. Are you going to hunt me down, Elder Chiu? Chiu Baiyu immediately knew that Emo had a very bad impression of the Vice City Lord. I wouldn't dare. The vice city lord spoils his son to dominate the city. I've long disliked this too. Yemo said, oh, and couldn't be bothered talking to this guy anymore. He clearly knew what the vice city lord did, but still didn't do anything. Seeing Yemo have no intentions of talking, Jayokue didn't dare to keep staying here. He quickly saluted with his fists. Emo High City is very chaotic now. I need to go back and check. If there are more people like Wanchong, I definitely will kill them. He was a truth realization state peak stage cultivator after all, and Yemo didn't want him to look too bad, so he waved his hand in that case. Go do what you need to do, Elder Chio. Yes, thank you, City Lord Yi. Chio Baiyu didn't dare to stay anymore and took the 2 bodies of the Emo High City elders and left. Yemo didn't know his few casual words changed the culture at Emo High City. When Chio Baiyu got back, he didn't show any mercy on those domineering cultivators. Eventually, Emo High City grew to a city more prosperous than the South Peace City. Then, Jayokue went up and thanked, Yokue thank Yi Qianbei for helping. Yemo waved his hand signaling her not to be pursued and asked, what happened at Juin Island? How is your father? Jayokue's eyes went red. We were fine, but a few months ago, Peng Island Yuzhijian suddenly attacked. Hearing this, Yemo understood what happened. Jiefeng definitely was no match for Yuzhijian. She was a madwoman. She did that either for the spirit nourishing well or brought her fury on the island for no reason. Little did Yemo know, the reason Yuzhijian was going to kill Jiefeng was also due to Lan Chirue's words. My dad knew he was no match for Yuzhijian, so he let Auntie Yi take us sisters and leave. He stopped Yuzhijian, and she didn't chase up indeed, but I'm worried about my father. Jiayokue cried. Yemo fell silent. If it was something that just happened, he could go help, but now it had been a few months. How did you fall into the hands of the Ice God Palace Lord? Yemo changed the subject. Jiayokue sniffed. My dad wanted me to go to South Peace State and ask for help from you. Auntie Yi was heading towards South Peace State, but on the way we encountered a level 10 spirit beast. In the fight we got separated. Before I could find them, that Palace Lord just took me away. What power is your Auntie Yi? Where did you guys get separated? Truth Realization State Primary Stage. I don't know where we got lost. It was far beyond the range of the Juin Island. I've never been there. B. Ox Novel. COM? Yemo nodded. A Truth Realization State Primary Stage should be fine against a level 10 beast. Don't worry. I'm going to South Peace State now. Are you coming with me? I'm willing to go with Yi Qianbei, Jayokue said without hesitation. Yemo released Blue Moon and sped off towards home. He couldn't even be bothered taking the teleportation formation. It would waste some time getting on and off, as it was like taking the plane. Ice God Palace. Yun Tingting and Enjichi were sitting in the room nervously discussing. Sister Chi-Chi, did Elder Tu and Elder Peng really confirm they will be on our side? I'm still a bit nervous. Tingting said again and again. Enjichi said helplessly, Tingting, stop being so indecisive. If the Palace Lord Immortal ascends, you're the Palace Lord. Elder Tu is your teacher. He's not your master, but there's still a relationship there. He will definitely support you being Palace Lord. Elder Peng is my martial ancestor. I've mentioned it to my master. Master said his master would support you being Palace Lord. Enjichi then said, there's 5 elders altogether now. There's an Elder Lu. Palace Lord reproached him before he left, and Lang Yu's death is related to him. After Palace Lord ascends, he probably will support you, but we need to show our goodwill first. Sister Chi-Chi, is that why you've been telling me to say good morning to them? Yun Tingting asked. And Zihiki nodded, of course. Those elders are all very cunning. They would know what you mean, but it's fine. As long as you show your respect, they would have a good impression of you. Plus, we're in a lot of danger. If we can't grab power before the 2 other sons are back, good things won't await us. Just when Tingting nodded, he felt the restriction outside shake. She quickly signaled to Enjichi and opened the door. Mushin, what happened? Tingting looked at the worried girl and asked. Sister Tingting, save me, save me. Mu Xian knelt down immediately. Enjichi pulled Mushin in and closed the door, signaling Tingting to put the restriction on. Tingting did so already. What happened, Mushin? Don't worry, speak slowly, Tingting said. Mushin sniffed. Just then, Palace Lord's soul card shattered. She clearly thought of Xiao Ji's fate. What? Ting Ting and Njichi were shook and couldn't speak a word. Njichi reacted first and said to Mushin, "Don't worry. Go back and wait for news. Palace Lord Ting Ting will do her best to help you." Njichi reacted first and said to Mushin, "Don't worry. Go back and wait for news. Palace Lord Ting Ting will do her best to help you." Seeing Mushin leave, Ting Ting asked in confusion, "Sister Chi Chi, do you have something to tell me?" Njichi grabbed Ting Ting's hand in excitement. "Ting Ting, this is an opportunity. You should hold a meeting and use this to grab the power of the Palace Lord. I believe you don't need me to teach you what to do. Hurry up, the quicker you do this the better." Huh? Ting Ting dazed and subconsciously said, "Even if something happened to the Palace Lord, Big Elder is still there. We didn't ask Mushin." Njichi quickly said, "I intentionally didn't ask. Just say you cared too much about the Palace Lord and don't have the mood to ask about Big Elder. He wouldn't be in a good position himself. It would be better to ask during the meeting." Then, Njichi added, "I had a worry that I didn't tell you. Palace Lord had the intention of removing you. If you're not the young Palace Lord, you would be the sex slave of her 2 sons. I won't be better off myself. You need to use this opportunity. The person who killed the Palace Lord pretty much saved our lives. He's really a good person." "Okay." This time Ting Ting didn't hesitate and nodded firmly. In the most grandiose palace in the Ice God Palace, all the elders and managers appeared here. However, the difference was that instead of the Palace Lord, it was a young girl sitting on the throne. The Mushin girl knelt in the palace shivering. The palace was dead silent, and even the elders frowned. No one spoke. Ting Ting was nervous, but thinking about her discussion with Sister Chi Chi before, she forced herself to calm down. Quite some things have been happening to Ice God Palace lately. After second young master died in South Peace State, our Palace Lord also died in South Peace State. I'm very sad. I don't know what to do. Elders, please indicate what the Ice God Palace should do." This was the method they decided. She would place herself in a very low position in front of these elders. She must let them know that only if she was the Palace Lord would they have the greatest benefits. One Truth Realization State Level 9 Elder nodded. He was happy with Ting Ting's attitude. He was about to be Truth Realization State Peak Stage. He had no desire for power. He needed respect and cultivation resources. Elder Lu Shiju stood out and asked Mushin, "Are there any news of Big Elder Wangwen?" Mushin said shakily, "When I saw Palace Lord's soul card shatter, I was out of my mind. Later, I saw Big Elder's soul card didn't shatter, but it turned pure white. Immortal Ascension." Hearing this, they immediately knew Great Elder ascended to the immortal realm. They glanced at each other and looked confused. Theoretically, it should be Big Elder's soul card shattering and Palace Lord ascending. But reality was opposite. What was going on? Mushin was very nervous, but no one cared about someone insignificant like her, and no one said she should die too. Ting Ting waved her hand. "Go back first and keep guarding the soul cards. Report to the elders or me immediately if new situation arises." "Yes." Mushin resisted her excitement and retreated. She didn't hear the Palace Lord or the elders asking her to die. The managers realized what Ting Ting meant too. But this wasn't in accord with the rules. Not long ago, the Palace Lord said the Soul Card Watcher must die after the soul card shattered. However, this manner of breaking rules made on cauldron-filling state manager able to resist. He walked out and saluted to the elders first before casually saluting to Ting Ting. Clearly, his actions meant that the young Palace Lord was below the elders. Ting Ting was nervous. She knew at this moment she needed to assert her dominance, but she didn't have any capabilities to do so. Then, the manager said, "Young Palace Lord said last time that the Ice God Palace rules must not be broken. But it's only been a few days and our rule has been broken?" The Palace Lord's soul card shattered, but young Palace Lord didn't let the young girl watching it to die. Yin Miaopei don't understood. Please enlighten me, young Palace Lord. Mushin almost fell to the floor hearing this. Seeing everyone look at her, Ting Ting knew she had to assert her dominance or she might die immediately. Even if no elders supported her, she needed to show her temperament. Ting Ting sneered Manager Yin. "Let me ask you, when the Palace Lord ascends or unfortunately dies, what is the rule of the Ice God Palace? Do we not have a Palace Lord?" Yin Miaopei was shook. He realized he seemed to have said something wrong. He didn't dare to not answer her and quickly said, "Of course not. In such event, the palace lord will be immediately succeeded by the young palace lord. If there is no young palace lord, then the palace lord will be decided by the elders." Ting Ting said sadly, "The previous palace lord is my master. Her death hurt me greatly." Then, her tone suddenly changed. She slammed the table and got up, pointing at Manager Yin, yelling, "The Ice God Palace rules are strict, but what did you do? According to the rules, I'm the Palace Lord now, and yet all you call me is Young Palace Lord? Do you think your power is greater than the elders? Are you going to take away my position as Palace Lord?" Yin Miaopei was shook. He didn't expect the timid young Palace Lord would change so much after the Palace Lord was dead. He sneaked a glance at the other managers and elders. No one came out to speak. He was regretting, but he still said, "Palace Lord, my wrong choice of words, but our Ice God Palace rules." Ting Ting sneered and interrupted, "Who decides the Ice God Palace rules?" "Of course, the previous Palace Lord." Yin Miaopei suddenly felt there were some holes in his words. Ting Ting said pitifully, "Our Ice God Palace had survived for tens of thousands of years, and now we go through hardship again. If we kill our own people because of this, wouldn't the enemy be joyful instead?" At this moment, one truth realization state elder got up and said, "Palace Lord is right, but Yin Miopi offended Palace Lord. He needs to be punished by the Palace Lord." Seeing that it was Chi-Chi's martial ancestor helping her at a critical moment. If no elders reacted to her words just then, it wouldn't be convincing at all. Yin Miaopei immediately knew he made a big mistake and quickly bowed. "It's my fault. Please punish me, Palace Lord." A cold voice sounded, "Since you dare to offend the Palace Lord, then there's no need for punishment." A cultivation essence giant hand reached over and crushed him into bloody mist. What surprised everyone was that this was Lu Shizhu. Soon, Ting Ting knew this was a signal that Lu Shizhu was going to help her. She quickly said, "Now that a big disaster has fallen upon us, but we're lucky to still have the elders here. But since he can defeat our Palace Lord, it wouldn't be wise for us to attack. In order to get revenge for the Palace Lord, I suggest we return to the rules before and seal the palace for 50 years. Elders can try to improve their power. After 50 years, when our power reaches a certain level, we must get revenge for Palace Lord." This 50 years was enough for them to grow in power. The managers looked at each other. If the palace was sealed for 50 years, what about the young masters? Clearly, the Palace Lord didn't want them to come back. Getting revenge 50 years later was a joke. But no elders said anything. To them, cultivation was the most important thing. Sealing the palace meant they had less business and more time for cultivation. Lang Ying was too harsh in her means and took most of the cultivation resources. Thus, there was no elder who was truly loyal to her. But no elders said anything. To them, cultivation was the most important thing. Sealing the palace meant they had less business and more time for cultivation. Lang Ying was too harsh in her means and took most of the cultivation resources. Thus, there was no elder who was truly loyal to her. When Ting Ting took over, the top-grade resources would be open to the elders and thus won over their support instead. As for the two sons of the previous Palace Lord, who would care about their life and death? Plus, the 50 years revenge spoke into the hearts of the elders. If even the Palace Lord and the Big Elder were no match for that person, just how powerful would that person be? Seeking revenge was asking for death. Now that the Palace Lord said this, they were happy to play dumb. After the meeting ended, Ting Ting still didn't believe she easily won power like this. The support of one elder was enough, much less 3. But she didn't expect that the greater surprise was to come. Ting Ting went to the Palace Lord cultivation room immediately. Anjichi told her she must control this place first, as it had been the cultivation grounds of all the Palace Lord. The reason the Palace Lord grows so fast is greatly due to this other than their own talent. Box novel. COM. Only the next Palace Lord had been able to come in here, but the condition was that the previous Palace Lord died or Immortal ascended. Ting Ting opened the cultivation room restriction and went into the cultivation room. Seeing everything inside, she was truly awestruck. She was a young Palace Lord and had a truth realization state level 9 master. Although her master didn't treat her that well, she would still give her 1 or 2 extreme-grade spirit range occasionally. But seeing the large amounts of top-grade materials, a row cultivation jade slips, and a huge spirit marrow pond, the spirit chi was so dense that it was viscous. She didn't even need to cultivate to feel her power growing. There were circles and circles of extreme-grade spirit stones on the side. Ting Ting knew that her cultivation level would be going straight up from now on. However, she couldn't bring in Ji Chi in here, but there were so many good things. She could bring some out for her. For the first time, she felt power was a good thing. If she wasn't Palace Lord, she wouldn't even dare to think about coming here. This is Imoyu City? It's so beautiful, much prettier than my Inju Island. Jayokue exclaimed. Imo immediately sent a messenger flying sword out when he got to South Peace State, but there was still no reply. Just when Jayokue was about to ask, she found the flying magic artifact below her shake. She subconsciously looked at Imo and saw Imo look excitedly at a blue-dressed girl standing on the grass in front. Dad. Imo also saw Imo and called out in joy. She ran up. Although her master was very nice to her, she had always been thinking about home. Now that she saw her father again, she had a home again. Imo hugged his daughter and suddenly eased up. Imo had grown up a little, but was still like the little girl all those years ago. He finally didn't have to worry about his daughter. Feeling her dad's excitement, Imo regretted. She should have left with Sister Jingwen. Imo remembered she couldn't say Sister Jingwen anymore. Dad, sorry. I should have told Master to bring me to find you earlier. Imo cried in Imo's arms. She knew her dad searched the entire North Far State to find her. It's okay. It's all good now that you're back. Imo looked up and saw Song Yangzhu, Luoying, Su Jingwen and them. Imo was back. So was Imo. Everyone was overjoyed to see each other. The sliver of worry in Song Yangzhu's eyes were gone. Her only worry was Imo, and now that she was fine, everything was good. They intentionally didn't reply to Imo's messenger flying sword, just so they could give Imo a surprise here. Box novel. COM. Imo introduced Jayokue to everyone. Seeing Imo finding her father, but she didn't know if her father was even alive, Jayokue's mood gloomed down again. Imo thought of something and took out a storage ring. Dad, this is for you to eat. Imo took the storage ring and scanned inside. There was a stack of blue wei fruits. They were level 6 spirit herb and very delicious. Imo patted Imo's head, feeling very happy. He helped her keep all sorts of spirit herbs and the 12 lightning orbs. His daughter also remembered him and kept so many blue wei fruits for him. However, Imo didn't plan to give the 12 lightning orbs to her yet. When they got back, he would get her a new cultivation method and teach her lightning sword. Then, he would give the orbs to her. He believed that with his special customization of cultivation method for her, the 12 lightning orbs would be much stronger in her hands than Suo Anshan. Imo thought of Tang Mingrao and asked, didn't sect leader Tang bring Imo here? Where is she? Auntie Tang was asked by Marshal Auntie Ming Xian to go see Qin Mushin in the Heartless Valley. Imo quickly said, by the way, is your master a gray-robed cultivator, truth realization state level 9? Imo thought of the cultivator being hunted by Hong Yixing. Imo quickly said, yes. Dad, you didn't fight with him, right? Imo smiled, how can I? He was being hunted and I helped him. I knew it. Imo said, when I was with Jingwen Auntie, he smashed a mountain and said he was stronger than you. Now that I think about it, he's tricking me. Dad, you were probably truth realization state at the time, right? Imo shook his head. No, he didn't trick you. He was indeed stronger than me at the time. At that time, Imo was probably just foundation establishment state. Your master is very nice to you. Your master must have paid a huge price for you to reach hollow spirit state at this age with your talent. Imo knew Imo's spirit root was good but far from Qingxue and them. Imo quickly said, yes, master treats me the best. I can't even finish using all sorts of pills and spirit stones. Seeing the father and daughter can't stop talking, Song Yangzhu quickly aimed and said, let's go back first. Then, Imo smiled apologetically to Luoying, Qingxue, and them before giving everyone a hug. Back at Imoyu City, Imo revised a new cultivation method and gave it to Imo. Then he gave the 12 lightning orbs to her. Her original magic artifact was a low-grade cultivation artifact, lightning chain. This was quite good for her. But compared to the 12 lightning orbs, it was a bit lacking. Yimo was very happy with the 12 lightning orbs. Her equipments greatly changed up too. Her flying cultivation artifact became extreme grade 2. Yimo spoiled Yimo and almost gave all the good things to her. Song Yangzhu and them were even a little envious watching this. Knowing that Yimo was already truth realization state level 7, everyone felt a sense of urgency, even Luoying. He wasn't far from truth realization state level 9, and if he reached truth realization state level 9 and ascended, what would they do? Yiling was the most worried and almost went into solitary cultivation. Su Jingwen felt the easiest. She had the best spirit root and was the strongest amongst them. She was about to reach body condensation state in a while. Everyone desperately wanted to speed up cultivation. Luckily, Yimo had a lot of immortal crystals. He couldn't let them use time formation disc without restraint, but it was fine occasionally. Everyone desperately wanted to speed up cultivation. Luckily, Yimo had a lot of immortal crystals. He couldn't let them use time formation disc without restraint, but it was fine occasionally. It was fine for Yimo to use the time formation disc as he had bitter bamboo, and his mind state would be very stable. But the others couldn't enjoy that. From what happened at the Abyssal River, if he let out the entire bitter bamboo, would the Immortal Realm cultivators know about it too? He didn't dare to take this risk. In order to set up cultivation place, Yimo put in a lot of effort. He set up a spirit-nourishing well at the MOU City Lake. Then, he mimicked the Chu 18 discs and set one up. He took out all sorts of pills without restraint. As for immortal crystals, he kept 300 to himself to reach truth realization state peak stage. He split the rest as well. With everyone getting their cultivation resources, they all went into solitary cultivation. Yimo went into solitary cultivation himself. He had never settled to cultivate during his journey. Now that Yimo came back, he breathed easy. The only shame was that Mu Xiaoyun was still nowhere to be seen. He also felt guilty about Luo Xian going missing. He reached Qi Gathering level 4 and got the golden page world due to her, but this cute girl was missing too. Yimo cultivated Heaven Flame 9 Suns, Purple Eye Soul Sever, and 5 Element Mobility. He didn't want to increase his cultivation level. He knew that he was truth realization state level 7, but it would be extremely hard to find a match on Luoyu continent. He didn't want to go to the Immortal Realm alone. South P State seemed to have settled after the Pill City breaking apart, the annihilation of 2 9-star sects, and the incident at the Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds. Perhaps because too many immortal demon crystals flowed out and MOU City's Vice City, Flowing Snake City sold too many pills, most cultivators went into a solitary cultivation craze. Ning Qingxuan named the city Flowing Snake in remembrance of the truly meaningful starting point of their relationship. The name was very average, but the city wanted it all. It was getting more and more prosperous. Any cultivator wanted to come trade here. There were all the pills you wanted here. Even if you wanted Truth Realization Pill and Disaster Life Pill, you could make an order and come to an auction. As long as you had spirit stones or precious materials and spirit herb, you could buy anything from MOU Mall. From Essence Increasing Pill to Truth Realization Pill, from low-grade magic artifact to extreme-grade cultivation artifact, there was only things you couldn't afford, not things you couldn't find. Of course, you could choose other merchant associations pills, but for above heaven grade level 4 and middle grade cultivation artifact, you could only go to MOU Mall. Flowing Snake changed the situation in South P State and even the entire Luoyu continent. Truth Spirit Pill that couldn't be bought and extreme grade cultivation artifact as well as heaven grade level 6 pills could all be bought now. Cultivators from Qi Gathering to Truth Realization State all went to Flowing Snake City. Although more wanted to go to MOU City, but it wasn't easy to settle there. More importantly, one could buy whatever they wanted in Flowing Snake City without needing to worry about being robbed. If this happened, no matter who, would be unable to leave the city and annihilated by city guards. But no one dares to cause trouble here. Everyone knew who the city belonged to. Level 9 Pill King, the person who annihilated 11 Pill City Truth Realization State cultivators by himself. One who annihilated 2 9-star sects and saved countless cultivators from the Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds, City Lord Yi, Yimo. Meanwhile, The once very prosperous Pill City started to decline. There were less and less people day by day. Some truth realization state cultivators even secretly left the Pill City and headed to Flowing Snake to settle. It was only a matter of time before Flowing Snake surpassed Pill City. Yemo settled his mind to go into solitary cultivation to cultivate the Heaven Flame Nine Suns, but he was called out. It was Yu Qichao. There was also Jiling and Shen Guanqing with him. Even the truth realization state Elder Lin Ji came out. Jiling passed down the sect leader of all formation sect and stayed at Mou City. What happened? Yemo had a bad feeling. Shen Guanqing said heavily other Pill City. The sect leaders of the 9-star sects Jin Gang Temple, Godwind Valley, Black Eye Sect, Clear Dream Mosque, Abstruse Sound Sect, Heaven Demon Sect all came to Mou City. 8-star sects such as Heartless Valley, Heaven Herb Lake, Heaven Star Sect, Golden Sword Sect all came. They're waiting for you at the City Lord Estate Guest Hall. What happened? Yemo frowned. If all the sect leaders of the top-grade sects of South Peace State came, clearly it was no small thing. Yu Qichao, the great disaster of South Peace State, is probably here. Countless sand-like spirit beasts have ravaged sections. Quite a few 6-star and below sects have been annihilated. They have this natural ability to devour essence spirit. Sand soul beasts? Yemo was shook. Were they not slaughtered clean? He clearly sealed the demon prison Forbidden Grounds. Yu Qichao looked at Yemo strangely. You've seen them before? Are they called sand soul beasts? But there's too many of them. There's about 10 million or more. The highest level is level 10. Yemo breathed easy instead. Luckily he slaughtered them inside the Forbidden Grounds, or they would truly be over. 10 million wasn't enough for him to kill. It was no big deal. This was no cultivation realm disaster. It was done by that guy called Lu Zhengquan. This isn't it. It's said that the fire-eating bug demon appeared again. He appeared at the same time as those sand soul beasts. One in the south, one in the north. He's more cocky than 10,000 years ago. He annihilated more than 10 small sects immediately. On top of that, problems occurred at the Ice God Forbidden Grounds, and Flame Sea Forbidden Grounds too. Countless spirit-devouring bugs flew out of the Ice God Forbidden Grounds, and the flames of the Flame Sea Forbidden Grounds are reaching out. Although it hadn't harmed any sect yet, but it's sooner or later. If this continues, South Peace State would be dead for sure. Yemo got up abruptly. He was certain that the person knew he took the small sapling. So these disaster that was supposed to occur a few hundred years later occurred now. Then what about the other few states? Yemo began to worry. No matter how powerful he was, he couldn't deal with all these himself. Let's go to the guest hall immediately. Yemo got up and said. The Mou City Lord Estate Guest Hall was filled with people. Any of them were very famous in South Peace State, either a sect leader or some 9-star sect elder. But now, they were all anxious and no one wanted to say anything. The Mou City Lord Estate Guest Hall was filled with people. Any of them were very famous in South Peace State, either a sect leader or some 9-star sect elder. But now, they were all anxious and no one wanted to say anything. They were all waiting for someone, and that was Mou City Lord Yemo. No one showed impatience while waiting them. Sorry for making you all wait so long. Yemo appeared at the entrance. Everyone breathed easy. It was good as long as Yemo came. Some were worried about Yemo not wanting to mind this matter because the Mou City defense formation were impeccable. Shan Bingfeng got up and said, Yemo, let me introduce. Yemo quickly saluted with his fists. Okay. Thank you, Shan Qianbei. He didn't know most of the people here despite them all knowing him. Shan Bingfeng nodded. Jin Gang Temple Head Monk Qianwei, Black Ice Sect Leader Yin Guan, Godwind Valley Sect Leader Mo Ming, Abstruse Sound Sect Leader Jing Fengji, Core Disciple Jing Ming, Heaven Demon Sect Leader Shilwan Goddess, Elder Liao, Golden Sword Sect Leader Wen Ziren, Ethereal Immortal Pawn Sect Leader Ho Fei Goddess, Heaven Star Sect Leader Ji Shai, Heartless Valley Sect Leader Haiyan, Heaven Herb Lake Sect Leader, Bai Lian. Yemo greeted them all. Ho Fei Goddess was Disaster Transformation State Level 7 and still extremely beautiful. This was the first time Yemo saw Jing Fengji, but he had seen the girl behind him, one of South Peace State 10 Beauty. Yemo knew Liao of Heaven Demon Sect, She helped him quite a bit at Black Eye Sect and was heavily injured for sending him to Mou City. So, Yimo was very hospitable and thankful seeing her. She was a disaster transformation state level 1 cultivator, but her pill was sent over by Yimo. There were a lot of people here, but not many truth realization state cultivators. The strongest was Heaven Demon Sect Shielwan, truth realization state level 7, then Jing Fengji truth realization state level 4. Jin Gang Temple Qianwei truth realization state level 3. Godwin Valley Amo Ming and Shanbing Feng were both truth realization state level 2. The rest were disaster transformation state cultivators. Those who came were representatives, not necessarily the strongest in the sect. After everyone was introduced, Yimo let everyone sit down and took out spirit fruits and spirit wine from his storage ring, sending it to everyone. It was customs to treat guests with spirit fruits. Yimo had large sums of level 6 blue wei fruit, but he couldn't bear to take them out. It was given to him by Yimo. Of course, Yimo wouldn't be taking out low-level things. These spirit fruits were all level 8 snow peaches from West Extreme State. It could cure pill poison while condensing one's cultivation essence. It also tasted very delicious. Its level 8 spirit fruit snow peach, Heaven Herb Lake Sect leader by Lien was the first to recognize. Who didn't know how precious level 8 spirit fruits were, but Mou City Lord casually took out so many to treat guests. Was he generous, showing off, or just wasting things? Heaven Demon Sect Shielwan Goddess sighed, City Lord Yi, you're really generous. Not only did you use Snow Peach to treat us, but also top-grade spirit herb produced cultivation condensation wine. Both are good for removing pill poison and condensing cultivation essence. It seems City Lord knows that the pill poisons in our bodies are still there. Wanshi, thank you. Then, Wanshi got out and bowed. Wan 11 was on par with Ho Fei in terms of looks and looked even more vibrant. Yimo could tell that although this woman was truth realization state level 7, she was on par with ordinary truth realization state level 9. Seeing this, everyone all came out to thank Yimo. Yimo signaled them to sit down before saying, I've seen those sand beasts. They're called sand soul beasts. I've killed quite a lot in the demon prison Forbidden Grounds, but I didn't expect more to come out. Their main method of attack is soul devour. They could destabilize cultivator essence spirit. If you can't resist the soul devour, then the only way is to kill it quickly. So there's sand soul beasts. City Lord Yi, your method is good, but you don't know how many there are. There's just too many. There's 10 million. With this many, they can easily annihilate South Peace State. We can't kill that many at one time. Heartless Valley Hyan said. Hyan was a female cultivator, but she was far from as good-looking as Ho Fei and Wan 11. She wasn't scorning Yimo, but it was striking his face a little. Yimo didn't care. Those sand soul beasts were nothing. He killed a few 100 million in the Forbidden Grounds before, otherwise these sect leader wouldn't be sitting here talking to him like this. But Yimo didn't say that as it was too shocking. People can't even begin to imagine how powerful his cultivation essence and illusion cloud domain kill strike was. Yinguan was scared high and would anger Yimo, so he quickly said, the greatest danger is currently the soul sand beasts. As for the fire-eating bug demon, we heard he annihilated 6-star sect Ju Fu Mountain. We don't know why he's staying there, but he's the least worry now. Yimo nodded. In that case, then please all go stop the flames of flame sea from spilling. If you guys can stop it for half a month, I can annihilate the sand soul beasts and the spirit-devouring bugs, and then make way to see flame Forbidden Grounds. You're going to deal with the sand soul beasts and spirit-devouring bugs by yourself. A clear voice sounded in the hall. It was full of disbelief. Menger, don't be rude. Jing Ifengji was prideful, but he knew Yimo's power greatly. He apologized to Yimo. My daughter has not seen the bigger world. Please forgive her, City Lord Yi. Yimo waved his hand. If everyone trusts me, we'll do this. Otherwise, hesitating for longer would only result in more sects being annihilated and countless cultivators dying. I agree with City Lord Ye's opinion, but I can bring my Jin Gang Temple people to stop the spirit-devouring bugs for 7 days. If City Lord Ye can support me within 7 days, we would be fine. I think the rest of the people should follow City Lord Ye's will and go stop the flame sea eruptions. Jin Gang Temple Qianwei got up and supported. I agree to City Lord Yi and Qianwei head monk. Shanbing Fengcom formed. With these two agreeing, the rest all got up and agreed. Some people were dubious, but no one said anything. After all, Yi Mo did kill 11 truth realization state cultivators in a row. Who was to be sure he couldn't annihilate the sand soul beasts? Plus, according to Yi Mo, he had encountered them before. Yi Mo said, in that case, let's go to work. Where are the sand soul beasts? They're at the extreme south, Qinghai sect. After annihilating them, they're heading towards middle of South Peace State. They're probably entered the mainland now. The spirit-devouring bugs are near the first mainland sect, Ice Sword sect. We've notified the sect's people to leave. We don't exactly know where they are, but wherever they pass, no life exists. Golden Sword sect leader Wen Ziren replied. In that case, let's move out now, Yi Mo said without hesitation. When everyone had left, Yi Mo told Yu Qichao and Jiling and them to not leave Mou City no matter what. If something happened at Mou City, they should send messenger flying sword to him immediately. To Yi Mo, South Peace State was important, but Mou City was more important. After that, Yi Mo released Blue Moon and left Mou City heading towards Songhai sect. Yi Mo didn't immediately go to Qinghai sect after leaving Mou City. He went to the demon prison Forbidden Grounds. Yi Mo didn't immediately go to Qinghai sect after leaving Mou City. He went to the demon prison Forbidden Grounds. If these sand soul beasts all came out of the demon prison Forbidden Grounds, he would immediately seal that place. It was easy to kill sand soul beasts, but if he didn't cut the disaster from the source. As soon as Yi Mo came out of the demon prison Forbidden Grounds, Yi Mo knew that these sand soul beasts didn't come from the demon prison Forbidden Grounds. The seal was perfect, and there was no way sand soul beasts from there. Yi Mo frowned. If there was another place like the demon prison Forbidden Grounds with also a few 100 million sand soul beasts, what would happen if they all came out? Qinghai sect was on the south, but it was very far from the Ice God Forbidden Grounds. Ice God Forbidden Grounds was extreme south near west. Qinghai sect was extreme south near east. Qinghai sect was just a 6-star sect. It was near the border and not very famous in South Peace State. At this moment, there was not even a wild beast there, much less surviving cultivators. There was only huge mouth spirit beasts that were made up of fine sands. The bodies of these spirit beasts were everywhere. There were a few 100,000 of them. The nearest sect to the Qinghai sect was Fusion Joy sect. This was a 7-star sect. But at this sect, everyone had a pale face because outside the sect defense formation, it was filled with densely cluttered sand soul beasts. No one could count how many sand soul beasts there were. The Fusion Joy sect leader was beginning to regret that he didn't leave in time. He knew this wasn't his fault. How could a 7-star sect just easily give up their sect grounds? Plus, their defense formation is on par with 9-star sect. It was level 9 peak defense formation. The sect had a few thousand cultivators too. It should be fine to use the defense formation to defend against the sand soul beasts' onslaught for half a month. If they do, then the big sects from the South Peace State would come to support them. After all, the news they got was that there would be no more than a few million sand soul beasts. Now, everyone in the sect realized how big this mistake was. This wasn't a few million sand soul beasts. This was at least 70 million sand soul beasts. There were endless waves of sand soul beasts. Now, not just the ground but the sky above the sect was filled with sand soul beasts. These sand soul beasts kept coming over a large gray patch. One couldn't even see the sky. Even with the level 9 defense formation, they wouldn't be able to last half a day, and this was mainly because only a limited number of sand soul beasts could attack the formation. Otherwise, even if a tenth of all the South Peace State cultivators came, they would be heavily injured. Yi Mo didn't stop at Qinghai sect and immediately chased off at the direction the sand soul beasts went. On the way, he saw a few destroyed cultivation cities. By the time Yi Mo got to Fusion Joy sect, their defense formation was about to fall. He had heard of this sect as there was a female cultivator called Du Shouying in here, one of South Peace State 10 beauties. Looking at the dense cluster of sand soul beasts, Yi Mo realized that Golden Sword sect Wen Ziren's intel was completely garbage. There wasn't just a few million here, there was about 100 million. Yi Mo was shook. If South Peace State cultivators can't gather together quickly, these sand soul beasts would be enough to gradually annihilate the South Peace State. Luckily, he came here in time. After he annihilated these sand soul beasts, he would have to find out where they came from. To Yemo, he didn't really care how many sand soul beasts there were. His illusion cloud 8th strike was for mass slaughter. As soon as Yemo came, countless sand soul beasts charged at him. In the defense formation, almost all the sect members came out. Without the help of all these cultivators, this formation wouldn't even be able to last 15 minutes under these attacks. Du Xiaoming bit her lips. She really didn't want to die like that, but faced against so many sand soul beasts, she felt a sense of relief. As one of the South Peace State 10 beauties, her sect was the weakest. Even Qiu Shui was in Green Pill sect and had a higher status than her. On nicer terms, Fusion Joy sect was a 7-star sect, but the truth was that they were a sect that relied on dual cultivation. Originally, a proper dual cultivation sect was fine. As long as the man and woman chose to be Dao partners, then it was natural for them to dual cultivate. But the Fusion Joy sect today completely goes beyond the line. The male and female cultivators in the second are just completely promiscuous. Other than a few cultivators who dislike this, most cultivators don't even care who their dual cultivation partner is. They could change one every day as long as it improved their power. She being one of the South Peace State 10 beauties with a very high talent, there were countless people who wanted to dual cultivate with her. If it wasn't that her master was a cauldron-filling state cultivator of the sect, and she was hollow spirit state, it was almost impossible to preserve her virginity. Sometimes, she would rather be a demon cultivator than be in this sect. The reason she hadn't left the sect up until now was that she didn't have the courage to bring this up. She owed the sect. When her family was destroyed, the sect saved her father and her. She was treated very well by the sect. She was one of the most important core disciples. If she left the sect now, even if the sect agreed, she would bear the name of a traitor and a wolf. Martial sister Xiaoying, what are you thinking about? A tall, long-faced cultivator suddenly walked next to her and asked. Du Xiaoying frowned. This was her martial brother Wang Peng. He had to bother her to dual cultivate with her. He was Hollow Spirit State Level 6 power while she was only Hollow Spirit State Level 4. Wang Chan said shakily, Martial sister Xiaoying, now that so many sand soul beasts are attacking our sect, I believe our sect can't change this no matter what. Xiaoying, I've always loved you. Since we're going to die anyways, we might as well. A sliver of disgust flashed across her eyes and she suddenly breathed easy. She felt what was a better time to leave the sect than now. Seeing Du Xiaoying breathe easy, Wang Peng said joyfully, Xiaoying, you agree? People looked over and some female cultivators sneered in contempt. She acts like a goddess usually, and now that she knows she can't live, she still wants to enjoy. Du Xiaoying didn't seem to hear this. She walked to the sect leader and took out her storage ring and magic artifact. Xiaoying thanked Fusion Joy sect for saving me and my father. Now, I wish to leave the sect. Sect leader, please allow this. Everyone looked dazedly at her. No one expected her to do this at this moment. Wang Peng's face burst red. He didn't expect his confession of love further strengthened her decision to leave the sect. The sect leader frowned and his face went cold. She was one of the most talented sect members, and the sect didn't treat her badly. Why did she decide to leave the sect now? But seeing the storage ring and magic artifact on the ground, the sect leader realized that she knew she would die for sure, and she wouldn't be considered a traitor if she left the sect now. It seemed she had long wanted to leave, but couldn't make the decision. Sigh, your master had left the sect 5 years ago, and there's still no news. Okay, no one can live today anyways, so I might as well let you. As for your storage ring and magic artifact, take it. When the formation breaks, even if you can't run away from the sand soul beasts, having your magic artifact means you still a sliver of chance. Sigh, your master had left the sect 5 years ago, and there's still no news. Okay, no one can live today anyways, so I might as well let you. As for your storage ring and magic artifact, take it. When the formation breaks, even if you can't run away from the sand soul beasts, having your magic artifact means you still a sliver of chance. Du Xiaoying quickly bowed a few times and said, Thank you, sect leader. Xiaoying owes the sect greatly. The magic artifact and things inside the storage ring top grade. Xiaoying has left the sect. I can't take these. Then, Du Xiaoying left and went to the far side. Staring into sand soul beasts, her heart felt calm. However, she stood far away. She was a hollow spirit state level 4 cultivator. She didn't have any magic artifact. It was impossible for her to fight her way out. Seeing this, the sect leader sighed. The elders sighed too. No one was dumb. They knew why she left. What she did was completely opposite to what the sect did. They were a dual cultivation sect, and yet she didn't cultivate dual cultivation and made friends with unimportant people. Was what the sect was doing right? From the elders to the sect leader, they were all thinking about this problem. But soon, they cast the thought aside. Now that the sect was going to be annihilated, what was the point of thinking about this? Wait, someone seems to be coming over to help. One elder's spirit sense scanned Yemo. All the cultivators above Golden Core State saw Yemo come. Just one person? Another elder added in disbelief. The heart of joy dissipated. There was no way one person could kill all these sand soul beasts. He would eventually be devoured. Yemo had experience in killing these sand soul beasts. He knew that once they chose a target, they wouldn't stop until they killed the target. This was very scary to others, but to Yemo, nothing was better than this. He wanted them to all squirm up and attack him. Zissou was released, and the illusion cloud domain kill strike swung around like a huge sword. In his sword domain, not a single sand soul beast could live, not even level 10 sand soul beasts. The sword ray had expanded out to nearly 1 kilometer. This terrifying sword ray was like a harvesting machine. The sand soul beasts around Yemo instantly cleared. However, how could 100 million sand soul beasts be killed so easily? Instantly, this empty space was filled again. The purple flower sprouted again until it became a huge purple lotus. With Yemo being the center, the flower sprouted out and quickly moved towards the center of the sand soul beast's tide. The sand soul beast shrieked. The empty space only lasted a few seconds and were filled again. The originally disappointed Fusion Joy Sect members were completely dazed now. This wasn't a battle, this was harvesting crops. Was this person even a cultivation realm cultivator? Amidst this many sand soul beasts, not only could he keep his essence spirit stable, but also harvest large packs of sand soul beasts. Just who was this? The sand soul beasts soon left the sect's defense formation and charged at Yemo, but they all turned to bodies. Seeing the dead sand soul beasts' bodies gradually form small mountains and then mountain ranges, all the Fusion Joy Sect members fell silent. There was only excited panting. Just who is this? The sect leader murmured. Sect leader, the sand soul beasts retreated, one elder said. Should we retreat now? One cauldron-filling state elder asked. Everyone knew this was the best opportunity to leave. If they left after the sand soul beasts annihilated that person, it would be too late. I don't think it's necessary. That cultivator is too terrifying. His purple sword technique is insane. Even with the 100 million sand soul beasts, I don't think it's enough for him to kill. An elder said. The sect leader frowned. He didn't know what to do. If those sand soul beasts gathered around again, the sect would be annihilated for sure. That cultivator was powerful but was by himself. His cultivation essence and spirit sense were limited. He wouldn't be able to last that long. I know who that person is, a body condensation state said. He called in excitement. It's MOU City Lord Yemo City Lord. He killed 11 truth realization state cultivators in a row and easily annihilated the Infinity Sect and Lightning Cloud Sect. He's the strongest in South Peace State. He's on par with Chu Juyu from many years ago. Now that he's here, our sect is saved. It's actually Yemo? The sect leader just realized and immediately said, everyone prepare to release magic artifact and fight with the sand soul beasts. We'll guard the formation now and cheer Yi Qianbei on. There was still hope of escaping the instant Yemo was killed, but if they dared to run away first when the city lord of MOU City came to help them, then they would be dead for sure. It's actually him? Du Xiaoying looked at the purple rays in awe. She knew that although her sect members called him Qianbei, but she knew he wasn't younger than her. The thing she had been hearing the most was legends about Yemo Pill King Tournament No. 1, killing 11 truth realization state of Pill City. annihilated 9-star sect, saving countless cultivators from the demon prison Forbidden Grounds. Any one of them was heavenly shocking. Seeing that large area of sand soul beasts being wiped out by Yi Mo's purple ray, Du Xiaoying had a sudden worry. She was worried that she wouldn't be able to die. If she didn't die and left the sect, what would happen? She subconsciously looked at the sect leader and elders, but everyone was too excited. No one wanted to die. The more Yi Mo slaughtered, the more satisfaction he felt. With this dense cluster, one strike could kill 10,000 or more. But as there were less and less sand soul beasts, he killed less per swing. Sometimes, it was only a few hundred. There were a lot of sand soul beasts, but it still couldn't compare with the demon prison Forbidden Grounds. Later on, the sand soul beasts felt scared but still kept charging at Yi Mo but with a slower speed. Thus, Yi Mo released Illusion Cloud Division Strike and the countless lightning arcs. Yi Mo tried to kill them quickly as he knew things wouldn't be so simple. He had to find the place where these sand soul beasts came from. Otherwise, it's uncertain if the monks of Jin Gang Temple could even last that long. Yi Mo quite approved of Qian Wei to offer to stop the spirit-devouring bugs. He had seen how powerful they were. The ones he annihilated in the Ice God Forbidden Grounds were probably just one part. Yi Mo quite approved of Qian Wei to offer to stop the spirit-devouring bugs. He had seen how powerful they were. The ones he annihilated in the Ice God Forbidden Grounds were probably just one part. After he annihilated the Sand Soul Beasts, he had to reinforce the monks of Jin Gang Temple. Seeing nearly 100 million Sand Soul Beasts die to Yi Mo's purple sword rays and Yi Mo releasing countless lightning arcs, the Fusion Joy sect cultivators forgot to be amazed. They were scared. To them, Mou City Lord's power was indescribable. No wonder the Lightning Cloud sect and Infinity sect were annihilated. They chose such an opponent. Half a day later, the countless Sand Soul Beasts' bodies had piled up to an endless mountain range. Yi Mo stood on top of the mountain range and sighed. Last time in the Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds, he would need more than half a day to kill this many Sand Soul Beasts, but today, he used less than half a day. Clearly, his Illusion Cloud Domain kill strike was getting more and more powerful. By the time the cultivators reacted, they realized that all the Sand Soul Beasts had been annihilated clean by the purple sword rays and lightning arcs. The cultivators all came over, and Yi Mo put away Zisu. Fusion Joy Sect Yu Jiong Reet City Lord Yi, thank you enduring the labor to come. Yi Mo waved his hand and stopped him. It's nothing. Fusion Joy Sect has been here for quite some years. Do you know what place around here has Densine Qi? Yi Mo thought for a while and couldn't find a better way to describe it, so he said, a place like the Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds that can birth evil spirits. Sand Soul Beasts needed evil spirits to reproduce and grow quickly. Yi Mo guessed that they would be living in a place with Densine Qi. Yu Jiong didn't expect Yi Mo to ask such a strange question, and he didn't know how to answer. He really didn't know where had a lot of Qi. Even if there was, there wouldn't be evil spirits. Evil spirits were powerful enough to kill truth realization state. Yu Jiong was very anxious. He didn't know the first question that City Lord Yi asked him. If he knew the answer, the City Lord would have a great impression of him. I know. At this moment, a voice helped him. Yi Mo rejoiced. To be honest, he didn't have much hope when asking. After all, even if there was a place with evil spirits, the person wouldn't be able to live to tell the story. Du Xiaoying got up and bowed. City Lord Yi, I know that place. Such a beautiful female cultivator. Yi Mo was surprised to see that she was not only beautiful but also talented. She was no older than Luoying but was Hollow Spirit State Level 4. However, Yi Mo was strange to see that she didn't have a storage ring and only had a storage bag on her. The Fusion Joy sect couldn't be this poor. When he saw that Nascent Soul State and even Golden Core State cultivators had storage ring, he knew she was a special case. Yu Jiong rejoiced hearing her words and just wanted to say something, but Du Xiaoying walked up to him and bowed. Xiaoying, thanks City Lord for taking me in. Although I'm not a sect members of Fusion Joy sect anymore, I'm very grateful for the sect's teachings and resources. Yu Jiong didn't feel too happy. He just wanted to say she was his core sect members. You're Du Xiaoying? One of South Peace State 10 beauties? Yimo thought no wonder she was so beautiful, but it seemed she had left the sect. Du Xiaoying immediately answered in joy, "Yes, City Lord Yi." Yu Jiong saw there was nothing he could suck up to Yimo with, so he said, "That's right, City Lord Yi. Xiaoying has been our sect members." She thought she would certainly die to the Sand Soul Beast's attacks, so she left the sect, but now that they have retreated, she can come back at any time. Du Xiaoying didn't dare to argue back. Everyone knew she didn't want to go back, but the sect leader said this. She didn't dare to say she wanted to leave the sect in front of City Lord Yi, or he might feel extremely disgusted to her. But if she stayed, she wouldn't have the same treatment as before. She might even fall to the status of an outer sect members. In the sect, the outer sect members had to dual cultivate with inner sect members if they wanted. She was waiting for Yimo to get her to lead the way. If she left, she would never come back. Yimo sneered. He wouldn't care about this, but this sect leader thought of him as an idiot. This made him very unhappy. How could he not understand what was going on? She wasn't an idiot. Why would she choose to leave the sect before she died? If Yu Jiong didn't do that, he wouldn't be bothered saying anything, and would at most let her lead the way. But now, this made Yimo furious. How dare Yu Jiong use him? Yimo said calmly, "Since you're not a Fusio Joy sect members, you can come with me." Yes. There was joy in her eyes. She could tell Yimo was helping her and immediately walked out without hesitation. Hearing Yimo's tone go cold, Yu Jiyoung was scared sweating. He really didn't want to use Yimo, but now, he realized how stupid his actions were. He wanted to apologize, but Yimo couldn't be bothered seeing him and just left with Du Xiaoying and Blue Moon. "Thank you, City Lord Yi." Du Xiaoying wants dumb. Yimo waved his hand, "No need. Tell me where the place with evil spirits are." Du Xiaoying nodded. "I'm not certain if that is the place City Lord Yi is looking for, but it indeed has heavy yin qi, and I don't dare to go in at all. Tell me about the exact situation. I'll go in and check." Yimo said. Du Xiaoying said, "I was only 13 at the time, and my parents were hunted by enemies, and they all died at the Ci Mountain. Just when I was about to be raped and killed, my adoptive father suddenly charged out from the icy river. I didn't know him at the time, but seeing that they were about to rape a 13-year-old girl, he was furious. He killed that person, but he hadn't cultivated immortal cultivation before. He cultivated ancient martial arts. The person he killed was Qi Gathering level 4. He killed him and helped me bury my parents. When he took me away, he was injured by the yin qi and had never recovered. He died a year later." Yimo nodded. "Are you going to take me to the place your adoptive father was injured?" "Yes." Du Xiaoying immediately answered. "After he was injured by the yin qi, he didn't have the strength to take me away. I was very young, but I knew it wasn't a place to stay, so I carried him away. But I was too young and couldn't go very far. At this moment, the enemies came again, and just when we were about to be killed, I was saved by my master. My master took us to the sect, but even my master couldn't cure my adoptive father." "Your adoptive father died a year later?" Yimo noticed something wrong and asked. Du Xiaoying nodded. "Yes, but adoptive father called my master in before he died. He told my master to burn him instantly with inner fire. My master agreed." Yimo breathed easy and nodded. "Your adoptive father is a very great man. Why are you fine since you went there too?" Yimo looked at her in confusion. "I didn't know at the time, but I realized later. It's probably because I have a purine body," Du Xiaoying said quietly. Due to her body, countless people wanted her in the sect. "I didn't know at the time, but I realized later. It's probably because I have a purine body," Du Xiaoying said quietly. Due to her body, countless people wanted her in the sect. Yimo suddenly grabbed her wrist. Du Xiaoying didn't move as she knew Yimo was checking her body type. Indeed, a purine body. Yimo fell silent. But he had never heard of purine body being immune to eviline qi. There must be another reason she was safe. But he couldn't really check her body. "After my master left, I never had the opportunity to leave. This time, I can bury the ashes of my adoptive father with my parents. He isn't from Luoyu continent. He died saving me. Du Xiaoying's tone was despondent. "Your adoptive father wasn't from Luoyu continent?" Yimo asked in confusion. Du Xiaoying said, "Yes. He said he came from the magical continent, but it wasn't from any of Luo Yu's states. There, people cultivate ancient martial arts, not immortal cultivation. He said he came here was because there was a problem with the teleportation formation. He was teleported to a place called Xianjia Mountain. He knew what it was, but he couldn't get out. After staying there for a few days, he went on another teleportation formation. He was just testing it, but it activated. What's your adoptive father's name? Yimo asked again. He's called Yun Dongxia. Yimo immediately remembered who this person was. He was Yun Zi's father, the association leader of Magical Commercial Association. The teleportation formation he took in the small world suddenly exploded. Yimo didn't expect him to go to Xianjia Mountain and then Luo Yu continent. Meanwhile, Yun Zi asked him to help find her father, but he was actually long dead. Thinking about this, Yimo exclaimed. Yun Zi's Sword Valley was also annihilated, and she was nowhere to be found. Yimo had decided to find Yun Zi when things were over and send her to Mou City. Her disappearance was also related to him. Adoptive father said he has a daughter called Yun Zi, but I don't know where the magical continent is and I can't help him. Yimo fell silent and comforted after a while. Don't worry, cultivate hard and there will be a day when you meet each other. We're here. Blue Moon was too fast. Blue Moon landed at a place with little spirit chi. There were thorns everywhere and very little vegetation. Du Xiuying pointed at the CI mountain. Adoptive father took me from there. After this mountain is an icy river. He was hurt by the yin chi between the river and this road. Yimo saw that she only had a storage bag and no magic artifact, so he casually took out a storage ring and threw a few things inside. You can have this storage ring. I don't know your adoptive father, but I know Yun Zi. She's a friend. She just wanted to reject, but hearing Yimo knew Yun Zi, she looked at Yimo in shock. City Lord Yi, you know Sister Zi? Where is she? Yimo said sadly, she was a Sword Valley disciple, but due to me, the Infinity Sect annihilated the Sword Valley and she went missing. No wonder you annihilated the Infinity Sect. Du Xiuying murmured and suddenly bowed to Yimo. Thank you for telling me Sister Zi came to South Peace State. I'm going to find her now. Yimo waved his hand. Your power is not enough to roam South Peace State. Plus, there's great calamity in South Peace State now. Danger is everywhere. I will go find her after I'm done with things. If you trust me, go to Mou City and cultivate. I believe with your talent, it's not hard to reach truth realization state. When your power is high enough, if I still haven't found Yun Zi, you can go find her. Du Xiuying calmed down and knew that everything Yimo said was true. Xiuying thanked City Lord Yi greatly. Du Xiuying knew that Yimo probably took her in due to his guilt over Yun Zi. At the same time, she missed her adoptive father. He lost his life to save her, and now due to his daughter, she had a place to stay. If one day she was powerful, she would find Sister Zi at all cost. If she couldn't, she would kill all who made her disappear. In order to strengthen her will, she put the storage ring on, but when she scanned her spirit sense inside, she took it off in shock. City Lord Yi, this is too precious. Even the magic artifacts were top-grade cultivation artifacts, much less the pills and spirit stones. Yimo waved his hand. Take it and cultivate hard. If I can't find Yun Zi, you still need to find her. In the South Peace State, no power means no right to talk. Plus, these things don't mean much to me. After hesitating, Yimo took out a jade slip and gave it to her. This is a cultivation method written by a cultivator called Mingjia. Just cultivate that. Primordial Chaos Chant. Du Xiuying read the words. That's right. Yimo nodded. She would be much faster in cultivation if she cultivated this. Du Xiuying took it and didn't say any more. She knew it was pointless to say thank you now. Yimo saw this and was rather pleased. Her talent was top-notch and was very decisive. Her progress was on par with Su Jingwen. Plus, Yun Zi had no family on Luo Yu continent. He couldn't use all his efforts to search for her. Perhaps Du Xiuying was needed to find her. City Lord Yi. Yimo shook his head. I'm a little older than Zi. Just call me brother like her. Stand back. Let me check here. Yes, Brother Yi. She was worried about Yun Zi, but meeting the City Lord of Mou City was something one experienced only once in a lifetime. Even she was excited, more excited than she was at Yemo giving her top-grade cultivation artifact. Yemo searched carefully with his spirit sense. The area was large, but Yemo's spirit sense was too powerful. In a short while, he had completely searched the place. This place seemed fine. Just when Yemo wanted to release Mist Lotus Heart Fire to burn all the thorns, there was an explosion in one corner. A huge hole appeared out of nowhere and countless sand soul beasts swarmed out. There seemed to be more than the number that attacked the Fusion Joy sect. Yemo immediately realized that this was a top-grade illusion formation. The sand soul beasts were indeed below the CI mountain. When the sand soul beasts left, the illusion formation immediately recovered, turning everything into thorns. Seeing so many sand soul beasts pop out, Du Xiaoying didn't know what to do. Seeing this, Yemo immediately knew that the previous round was just the herald. Luckily he came in time, or else there might be more sand soul beasts here than the demon prison forbidden grounds. Before Du Xiaoying could react, Yemo took her to the entrance of the illusion formation. At the same time, Zhisu was released. The million sand soul beasts were instantly slaughtered clean by Yemo. Yemo released a few formation flags and sealed this entrance. Before Du Xiaoying could react, Yemo took her to the entrance of the illusion formation. At the same time, Zhisu was released. The million sand soul beasts were instantly slaughtered clean by Yemo. Yemo released a few formation flags and sealed this entrance. Then, Yemo turned to her and said, "I'm going down to annihilate them. There should be a few 100 million down there. Leave first, you can go directly to Amoyu City." Du Xiaoying opened her mouth and wanted to say something but eventually didn't. She nodded and said, "Okay." Yemo didn't mind and set up a few trap formation and disappeared into the illusion formation. Du Xiaoying didn't understand formation and could only retreat to the outskirts of the CI mountain. She didn't go to Amoyu City like she was told. Hearing there were a few 100 million sand soul beasts, she was worried about Yemo but couldn't say it. Thus, she could only wait here. After entering, Yemo immediately saw a seal. It was the same type of seal as the ones in the demon prison forbidden grounds. Clearly, it was set by the same person. Yemo immediately thought of Lu Zhengquan, but he didn't break the seal and go inside. Instead, he started to study it. It was very high level, and not something a level 9 formation grandmaster could set up. But Yemo had seen this type so many times. He checked it and immediately knew his guess was right. This seal was suddenly activated, meaning that it was activated before the timer set. It seemed him taking the sapling really pissed off that guy in the immortal realm. That guy probably couldn't come down, so he had to activate the seal. Yemo broke the seal without hesitation and set up a new seal. Then, he went inside along the seal. This place was just like the demon prison forbidden grounds. There was a sand stairway leading down. As soon as Yemo got on the stairs, a few hundred sand soul beasts surrounded him. Yemo slaughtered his way down. In a short while, countless sand soul beasts had died to his sword. When Yemo got down the stairs, he saw a blue rock road leading into the distance and dazed. Wasn't this the blue rock road behind the demon prison's 3-birth bridge? When he took the seal flag and the road disappeared, Yemo had a strong feeling that the place was dangerous to him and he couldn't keep staying. So, he took Jingyingli and left without hesitation. He even sealed that place. How come he saw the blue rock path here? Was this the other side of it? Yemo suddenly felt this skin crawling. He knew this road was probably an illusion, but no matter how he looked at it, it really extended into the distance. Countless sand soul beasts emerged from the end of the road. Yemo stayed on the last step and didn't go down. His next step would be on the blue stone road, but he felt the road was too eerie. Even though he didn't go down, there seemed to be an endless calling from the other side of the road. It seemed to be a familiar voice one moment, but then completely strange another moment. It was an unfamiliar voice. That calling wanted him to quickly get on the road and keep going forward. Yemo forced his brain to stay awake. He believed that if it was some other person, he would have crippled already. If there weren't sand soul beasts there, Yemo would leave without hesitation and seal it like the demon prison forbidden grounds. But now, he couldn't go. He had to annihilate them all. Who knew if they could pop out from some other place? The safest way was to kill him all. The howls and screams of the sand soul beasts mixed as they charged at Emo, completely surrounding him. Emo released Zisu and started the carnage. Emo completely stopped the sand soul beasts from coming onto the stairs. But as he killed more, the less Emo cared. All he knew was to release purple sword rays like crazy as he killed the sand soul beasts. Eventually, Emo completely forgot what he was doing. He was just slaughtering sand soul beasts like a machine. He completely didn't notice that he had long come off the stairs and stood on the blue stone road. He killed his way over. There were countless sand soul beasts' bodies around him. Now, Emo was just waving Zisu frantically, but the sand soul beasts around him were all dead. However, his eyes were red and he had no intentions of stopping. When his cultivation essence ran out, he took out pills without hesitation and even took out immortal crystals. Then, he waved Zisu around space that had no sand soul beasts. Rumble. After absorbing immortal crystals, Emo felt his meridians about to explode. A powerful immortal spirit chi charged into his dantian. This made him wake up momentarily. Emo shivered and went into the golden page world without hesitation. Truth realization state level 8. The instant he reached truth realization state level 8, he woke up and went into the golden page world. If he didn't have the golden page world, he would fall into that crazy state once again. So powerful, Emo was shook. He finally knew the power of immortals. He didn't even fight them, and that person just set a formation here, and he almost died. Emo sat next to the bitter bamboo and exerted out the eviling chi inside his body. A dark gray mist emitted out of his body and was burned by the mist lotus heart fire. Half a day later, Emo was completely awake. He threw out a surveillance formation. There was endless piles of bodies, but no blue stone road nor stairway. This meant that he had long gone off the stairs and went onto the road. If he didn't have a lot of immortal crystals and reached truth realization state level 8, he would have lost himself already. Emo checked his immortal crystals quickly. He had used up nearly 200 immortal crystals in that go. This was too scary. In this place, Emo didn't dare to take out bitter bamboo leaf. He didn't want the bitter bamboo chi to leak out. Emo came out carefully and found that the blue rock road appeared again. Emo shivered and was ready to go into the golden page world at any time. Then he released Zisu and checked around carefully. He didn't know where he came from. He couldn't scan the end of the road ahead and behind him. This was the first time Emo had seen an illusion formation this terrifying. He didn't know whether to go forward or backward. Emo retreated 2 steps and suddenly saw a huge stone tablet on the side of the road. It had the bloody words Blue Rock Netherworld Road. Emo immediately thought of the 3 Birth Bridge, and he was furious. He released Zisu and hacked on the stone tablet. Seeing that Zisu was about to strike it, Emo suddenly had an extremely bad feeling, and he forcefully stopped the strike and moved it to the side. With this, there was a powerful backlash, and he spat blood out. Emo waved his hand, and the blood turned to mist. The purple sword rays slid past the stone tablet and onto the blue rock road. It immediately splattered apart. Seeing this, Emo was confused. This blue road didn't seem to be an illusion. Emo calmed down instead. He only had one thought, and that was to leave. Whether it was to help the Jai Gang Temple monks or his current power, he couldn't stay here. Emo couldn't see through this illusion formation despite being level 9 formation Grandmaster Peak. Emo couldn't see through this illusion formation despite being level 9 formation Grandmaster Peak. Emo was planning to choose a direction based on his sixth sense and find the end of the pile of sand soul beast bodies. That should be where he came in. But when he was about to choose, he found that both direction had this calling for him to go over. Emo settled his mind and didn't dare to think about it. His gaze fell upon the shattered road. The reason he didn't hack the tablet was because he had the feeling that he must not do that. If Emo didn't guess wrong, all this was set up by Lu Zhengquan. He knew the sapling was taken, but he didn't come down. It's not that the sapling wasn't important, but he couldn't come down. Thus he released the sand soul beasts. He was probably prepared to come down a few hundred years later. It was best to find the way that guy would come back and block that road. Yemo shook his head. He knew that was probably very hard. He moved his gaze to the tablet. It just appeared there suddenly and gave him an impulse to destroy it. This definitely didn't come from his heart. It was affected by the illusion formation. This was very abnormal. Why did the illusion formation want him to destroy it? Even with his firm mental state, he almost fell for it. At this moment, Yemo found that the blue stone road disappeared once again. He was just standing on fine sand, and there were endless sand soul beasts' bodies here. However, the shattered pieces of the road didn't disappear. The stone tablet was still derelict in the sands. Yemo was very calm this time. Just when Yemo wanted to take a piece of the blue rock into his golden page world to study if it was real or an illusion, he saw a piercing light shine before him. He subconsciously took a few steps back, and a round light pillar appeared on the rock he hacked. Yemo had a bad feeling and wanted to release Zissou to hack that pillar, but he heard a laughter. A golden-robed cultivator appeared, and then light pillar disappeared. Yemo found that those blue rock pieces had turned gray. Hollow immortal? Yemo saw this cultivator's cultivation essence wave was completely different to his, but quite similar to that Cheng Sheng. The golden cultivator looked coldly at Yemo, and a blue run appeared on him. Then, he released a green spear. He shook his hands, and the spear turned into a green strand. Yemo saw this strand wasn't coming for him, but the Netherworld Roadstone tablet. He immediately had a very bad feeling. Without hesitation, he hacked out Zissou with full power, blocking the attack. Rumble. In a huge explosion, purple and green rays splashed everywhere. Clear void fissures appeared in the space. Tens of space wind blades shot out. Yemo wouldn't even care if they hit him. It wouldn't even tear open his armor, but at this moment, Yemo had the feeling he should dodge these space wind blades. Without hesitation, he dodged those space wind blades and stood before the stone tablet. He just shattered a blue rock, and a hollow immortal was teleported here. What would happen if he shattered the stone tablet? The golden-robed cultivator was surprised to see Yemo not sent flying after clashing with him. Since when was there such a powerful cultivator in the cultivation realm? Even though his power was suppressed a little in the cultivation realm and couldn't use his full power, but he was still a hollow immortal. Even though his cultivation essence didn't completely convert to immortal essence, he was still an immortal. No wonder you dare to touch Master's thing. So you think you're strong, the golden-robed cultivator sneered. Yemo asked heavily, if it because I shattered a blue rock and thus you came down? The golden-robed cultivator said calmly, you're not dumb. On account of your power, if you're willing to serve the Heaven Lord in hand over what does not belong to you, perhaps the Heaven Lord Master will consider letting you live. Yemo said, why do you want to smash this tablet as soon as you come down? Would there be more powerful people coming down then? The golden-robed cultivator sneered, that's not something you should care about. Do you agree or disagree? Keep dreaming. If you want to be Lu Zhengquan's dog, it's your business. Don't bring me into it. Yemo sneered. Yemo was testing. He wasn't certain if this was related to Lu Zhengquan. So you did it, kid. Why did Cheng Sheng die? Did you take it? The golden-robed cultivator showed a cruel look as though he was about to tear Yemo apart. Yemo released a low-grade cultivation artifact shield and said in contempt, if you want to fight, then fight. Cut the talk. Hearing this, the golden-robed cultivator furious, a mere truth realization state level 8 dared to say this to him. His spear brought a green flame and struck at Yemo. Before the spear arrived, the flame already burned space, cracking. To him, that low-grade cultivation artifact shield was like nothing. His spear flame could easily melt it. This strike was much more powerful than his previous strike. Yemo could the dominating force of the spear, and it seemed all the space around him was under this space. However, Yemo had a strange feeling. This strike surpassed all the cultivators Yemo had ever fought, and it gave him this sudden enlightenment. Zissou hacked out, but this time, it didn't have any purple ray. At the start, the golden-robed cultivator was sneering. He knew Yemo was not bad to be able to block his casual attack, but this wasn't his casual attack. Moments later, his face changed. Yemo's strike brought a killing force around him. That endless killing intent swept at him. It was an ordinary strike at the beginning, But when he felt the killing force and killing intent of the strike had formed its sword force. That powerful force seemed to point at his weakest spot. He was a hollow, immortal cultivator, and yet he showed fear towards a truth realization state cultivator. The golden-robed cultivator was ashamed. He released a brick-shaped defense magic artifact without hesitation. The spear attacked even faster. He was going to kill Yemo before his sword force was completed. Even if he couldn't kill Yemo had to defend against it. The brick magic artifact instantly turned to 10-meter size and completely protected the hollow immortal. Yemo's strike had to bypass this golden brick no matter what. Yemo was expressionless. The sword force and killing intent of Zissou was growing stronger and stronger. He had a feeling that this strike was completely different to illusion cloud sword technique. But his desire to this strike was extremely strong. Yemo was going to hack it down no matter what. The golden-robed cultivator had a very bad feeling, but the only thing he could do was activate his spear faster. Crack! The spear hit the low-grade cultivation artifact, and it was like a cracked open like dried paper. The golden-robed cultivator rejoiced. He knew Yemo was over. There was no way Yemo could live being burned by the green flame. But when the golden-robed cultivator saw that Yemo still had no intentions of dodging, he had a bad feeling, but he didn't know what exactly it was. Yemo should be trying to avoid it at all costs and not try to attack him. Rumble. Zissou hacked onto the golden brick, and the purple ray that didn't come out finally activated when Zissou struck the golden brick. Thud. The golden-robed cultivator's green spear struck Yemo at the same time. Green flames spilled and the flame instantly engulfed Yemo. The instant his green spear pierced Yemo, the golden-robed cultivator knew he was tricked. Yemo's body was on par with low-grade immortal artifact, and with his cultivation essence protection, his green spear only pierced a few centimeters and was stuck in the bone. The instant his green spear pierced Yemo, the golden-robed cultivator knew he was tricked. Yemo's body was on par with low-grade immortal artifact, and with his cultivation essence protection, his green spear only pierced a few centimeters and was stuck in the bone. What shocked him the most was that Yemo was unaffected by the green flame, but soon he realized what was going on. A faint purple flame rose about Yemo's body, completely separating the green flame. It even started to devour the green flame. Purple mist lotus heart fire, the golden-robed cultivator called out in shock. He completely didn't believe that a cultivation realm cultivator had a purple heaven flame. The most powerful cultivation realm cultivator he saw had an aqua heaven flame, but now he saw purple heaven flame. A lot of immortal realm cultivators didn't even have this. Yemo had gone through the torture of body refinement. The damage of the spear would be unbearable to ordinary cultivators, but Yemo didn't seem to feel it. He inserted his cultivation essence like crazy into Zissou. Crack. When purple sword rays splashed, a crack opened on the purple brick but quickly reduced in size. Splurge. The brick was hacked away, but Yemo's sword light didn't stop. It sliced down from the golden-robed cultivator's shoulder. Blood flashed, and the golden-robed cultivator's shoulder was sliced off. Before it fell to the ground, the purple sword rays twisted the arm into a bloody mist. The golden-robed cultivator retreated a few steps in a pale face. He knew that it wasn't he couldn't beat Yemo, but he was tricked. When he saw that his sword couldn't pierce Yemo deeper, he knew Yemo definitely was a god state body refinement. A truth realization state level 8 who was this young, and also a god state body refinement. This would be extremely shocking even in the immortal realm, but he had to encounter it. If Yemo wasn't a body refinement cultivator, that spear strike would have turned him into a bloody mist already. You're indeed very cunning. No wonder Cheng Shang would die to you. The golden-robed cultivator glared at Yemo with fiery eyes. If possible, he would have eaten Yemo alive now. He was a hollow immortal, but he was injured by a truth realization state cultivator. This was a huge insult. Yemo ate a pill and ignored the hollow immortal's words. He felt regretful that he couldn't fully learn that new move as the instant he was pierced by the spear. That feeling disappeared. Pity. You have no chance now. The golden-robed cultivator flung a black jade bottle into the air and spat some essence blood towards it. He used some hand signs and said softly, "Enter samsara." The black word, samsara, flew out of the jade bottle and gradually grew big until it covered all the space around here. A bleak wind started to rise, creating this faint whimpering sound. Suddenly, a temple appeared before Yemo, and inside he held a charred bun. When he was about to eat it, the bun disappeared and an old man appeared before him. Ordinary spirit root, but he can be a pill concoction child at magical herb sect. The old man smiled and touched his head. Yemo's heart was shook. He quickly used the 3-birth chant and woke up from it. He immediately knew this was a magic artifact to catalyze a heart demon tribulation, but this golden-robed cultivator used it on the wrong person. He cultivated the 3-birth chant and had the bitter bamboo. If he wasn't inside this illusion formation, he wouldn't even begin that thought. Seeing Yemo daze, the golden-robed cultivator pressed his hand, and the word was about to press on Yemo's head. But at this moment, Yemo suddenly opened his eyes and smiled at the golden-robed cultivator. The golden-robed cultivator instantly realized that Yemo wasn't controlled by his samsara bottle. His face was shook. He didn't expect Yemo was this absurdly powerful. The reason he wanted to break the tablet was not because he was scared of Yemo, but the master ordered him. The master was going to come down personally, and the tablet must be broken. Now, he realized Yemo wasn't someone he could deal with. The golden-robed cultivator pulled down the rune from his body without hesitation. He didn't even take back his jade bottle. But before he could, Zissou already hacked out. The golden-robed cultivator instantly felt he was bound by his surroundings. He rushed his immortal essence out like crazy, wanting the laws of this realm to take him away. If he didn't try to run and use this green spear, he might be able to fight with Yemo for a while and find a chance to run away. But now, it was impossible to leave from Yemo's domain. Quite many times people have escaped from Yemo due to immortal ascension. How could he not be alert now? Illusion Cloud Domain Kill Strike struck out. Yemo's domain connected with the sword domain, making the golden-robed cultivator even slower. But with the use of his immortal essence, he broke free from Yemo's domain in less than a second. Sometimes, 1 second was very long and sometimes very short. For Yemo, this second was enough. At this moment, the golden-robed cultivator realized his biggest mistake was to try and run immediately. But he realized too late, and that door-sized purple ray struck him. Blood mist sprayed out, and at the same time, Yemo summoned Shadowless. Shadowless dashed at the fleeing essence spirit instantly. This was a hollow immortal essence spirit. Yemo was worried if it would be too much for Shadowless, but he already devoured it and flew shakily towards Yemo. Yemo quickly sent Shadowless back into the golden page world before grabbing the broken brick and samsara bottle. Then, he picked up the green flame spear. However, Yemo was confused that he didn't see a storage ring. He didn't know if it was that it couldn't be brought down or something. If he got the storage ring of a hollow immortal, there would be quite some immortal crystals from there. Yemo sealed these things. He needed to quickly find a way out. What was this stone tablet? Why did the golden-robed cultivator want to break it immediately? Yemo walked to the stone tablet, and the more he looked at it, the more it seemed strange. Yemo waved his hand, wanting to take it into his golden page world to study, but then he realized that his spirit sense that could move mountain ranges couldn't move this stone tablet. If this stone tablet was broken, would more powerful cultivators come down? Thinking about this, Yemo thought if Lu Zhengchuan came down, he would definitely annihilate the entire Luoyu continent. Yemo took out the time formation disc. This was the first time he took it out. He didn't have that much time, but if he didn't study this stone tablet, he couldn't leave this place feeling secure. Soon, the time formation disc started spinning rapidly surrounding Yemo and the tablet inside. A month later, Yemo put away the time formation disc with a face full of fatigue. He had completely understood what it was now. It was the formation heart of the illusion formation, but something like the fish jump through Dragon Gate. There was a rune inside the tablet, and even Yemo didn't count what it was, but it was definitely top-grade thing from the immortal realm. The restriction inside the tablet would explode after a set time, and the rune would be activated. Then, a teleportation pillar would form. The endless blue stone road was just an illusion formation formed by 7 blue stone rocks. There were still 6 left. Each one had a rune inside, but the runes seemed dimmer in color. Knowing this, how could Yemo leave a ticking time bomb here? Yemo started to set up formation, and in half an hour, the tablet was easily taken into his golden page world. He sealed it inside his golden page world. Yemo started to set up formation, and in half an hour, the tablet was easily taken into his golden page world. He sealed it inside his golden page world. With that gone, the view before him brightened up. His spirit sense easily scanned to where he came in before. Yemo breathed easy and quickly went back to the stairs, completely sealing this place before exiting. He had killed all the sand soul beasts and took the stone tablet. He killed the hollow immortal sent by that Lu Zhengquan. Yemo thought that guy was probably jumping around in fury. This guy was so evil, wanting to annihilate an entire cultivation realm, but he didn't have the power to fight him right now. When his power reached that level, Lu Zhengquan could only wait to die. He wasn't going to let such a go out. As soon as Yemo came out, he saw Du Shouying sitting on the ground and asked in shock, "Why haven't you left yet?" Then, Yemo immediately saw a body not far from her in the messy grounds. Clearly, there was an intense battle. Du Shouying's face was pale, and she seemed to have received some injuries. It was a dead young female cultivator. Yemo could tell that Du Shouying killed her as she gave her 2 level 9 ice arrow runes. He forgot whose storage ring he got that from, and he didn't need to use it, so he gave it to Du Shouying. Du Shouying saw Yemo come out and got up in joy. "Brother Yi, you're finally out. What's going on?" Yemo asked, but before Du Shouying could reply, 2 dashing lights came here instantly. There was 1 truth realization state cultivator and 1 hollow spirit state level 4. That truth realization state was truth realization state level 9. "Who dares to kill my disciple?" The truth realization state's furious voice sounded. His face was quite dark. Yemo scanned them and singled Du Shouying to continue talking. Du Shouying knew Yemo's power and felt safe. She pointed at the hollow spirit state level 4 who just came. "I was spirit controlling the flying magic artifact, and that cultivator and the dead female cultivator came. After discussion, one of them wanted my flying magic artifact, the other wanted to." Yemo realized. He gave her top-grade flying cultivation artifact, and the 2 cultivators came. Seeing she was so beautiful, they decided to gang up on her. The female definitely wanted the top-grade cultivation artifact, and the male cultivator probably wanted her body and storage ring. But they didn't expect the things Yemo gave her was too powerful. Du Shouying easily killed one with Ice Arrow Rune, and the other could only run. The Truth Realization State Level 9 saw Yemo standing next to Du Shouying and studied Yemo. He found he didn't know Yemo at all. But he didn't fight immediately and stared coldly at Yemo. "Don't you think you're lowering yourself to kill my Hollow Spirit State sect members?" Yemo sneered. He couldn't even be bothered replying. If this truth realization state wanted to fight, he would kill him immediately. He even killed Hollow Immortals. Why would he care about this truth realization state level 9? The 2 cultivators had a very dense water chi. Yemo guessed they came from the Heartless Sea. The Hollow Spirit State Level 4 quickly said, "Master, the woman killed her." How could the Truth Realization State cultivator not know this? But Yemo's power was quite similar to his. He wanted Yemo to show some resolution, but Yemo couldn't even be bothered talking to him, and he was furious. He said to Du Shouying, "Kill yourself. I'll leave you with a whole body." Du Shouying rebuked without hesitation. "I was spirit controlling my magic artifact and your disciple came to rob it. Am I not allowed to retaliate? Our cultivation home is here. This land all belongs to us. You were cultivating on here. Are we not allowed to kick you away?" The Hollow Spirit State Level 4 said ferociously. He thought that with his master here, those 2 cultivators would certainly die. Hearing such unreasonable words, Du Shouying was so angry she didn't say anything. Yemo frowned. Why would a Truth Realization State Level 9 suddenly take his disciple to here to open a cultivation home and cultivate? The spirit chi here was so scarce. Seeing that Yemo seemed to be backing out and didn't argue back, the Truth Realization State Level 9 felt more confident. He said coldly to Du Shouying, "If you kill someone, you need to pay with your life." You have 10 seconds, otherwise I will do it. You will turn into bloody mist. Yemo suddenly said, killing needs one to pay with her life, regardless of right or wrong, correct? That's right in my eyes. She needs to pay with her life. So what if it was my disciple's fault? How can that bitch compare with my disciple? Just because your truth realization state level 8, Dawn, think you have a right to talk with me. If you piss me off, you will have to pay too. He felt that Yemo's tone seemed to be weakening, so he was getting more and more impolite. Yemo smiled and suddenly waved his hand. A wind blade shot out. The hollow spirit state level 4 was sliced into a blood mist before he could react. Even the truth realization state level 9 couldn't react. Then Yemo looked at the truth realization state level 9 and said, I killed your royal disciple. That should have angered you too, right? And I've talked so much to you. Hurry up and let me pay with my life. Du Xiaoying couldn't hold in her laughter. Seeing this, the dark-faced truth realization state was extremely shook. He could tell that Yemo's power would only be higher than his. He immediately released a gray skull flag and stared at Yemo. Who are you? Yemo ignored his words and didn't even release his magic artifact. He asked with his hands behind his back, your cultivation home is near here? The cultivator subconsciously nodded. That's right. Then he felt his tone was weak and raised his voice. Who the hell are you? I know all the famous cultivators in South Peace State. There's no one as young as you. Hearing this, Yemo knew this cultivator hadn't been to South Peace State for a long time, or he wouldn't say such a thing. Do you have some secret for building a cultivation home here? Yemo asked. You're asking to die. The black cultivator raised his flag. Moments later, the sky near here darkened. Countless skulls flew out of the flag. Du Xiaoying subconsciously shivered. She felt shivering cold. She was a purine body type, but even she couldn't deal with such coldness. Yemo sneered and took a step forward. Zissou hacked out. Purple flight flashed and all the black bones were hacked back into the flag. The sky brightened up again. The black-faced cultivator's face changed. He had seen many people use all sorts of ways to counter his flag, but none like Yemo who just hacked out like that. Just one move, and the black-faced cultivator immediately knew he definitely was no match for Yemo. His first reaction was to take the skull banner and run. Just one move, and the black-faced cultivator immediately knew he definitely was no match for Yemo. His first reaction was to take the skull banner and run. But when he was about to run, he was shocked to find that Yemo's domain had reached a state that was cast at will. It easily broke his domain and bound him. He would need at least a few seconds to break free from this domain, and in this time he could die countless deaths. Don't kill me, I'll say it. The truth realization state level 9 called out quickly. The activated sword ray stopped above his head, spitting out rays. If the cultivator said it 1 second later, he would have been sliced open by this sword beam. There was a sliver of joy in his heart, not because this cultivator was willing to talk, but because he could stop Zissou according to will. Before, he had to forcefully stop his full-powered attack, which caused a backlash. But now, he could stop Zissou at will. This gave Yemo a sense of enlightenment. He felt he was about to grasp something. Friend, I'm willing to say it. Please put away your sword beam. The 10-meter-long sword beam was scaring the truth realization state cultivator. He was scared Yemo would shake his hand and cut him open. Yemo sighed. His enlightenment was interrupted again. This made him annoyed and he yelled, Hurry up then, I don't have time to play with you.
Yes.
The truth realization state cultivator quickly said, My martial ancestor left behind a flying sword seal before his immortal ascension. If the flying sword seal breaks, it meant that the fortune of our sect has come, and I'm to find sand soul beasts at the CI mountain. Suddenly, the truth realization state cultivator stopped. Yemo wanted to ask him why, and suddenly felt something was wrong with him. There was a look of extreme terror, more terror than when he was about to be killed before. Yemo covered him and Du Xiaoying with the octagonal cauldron without hesitation, and break the netherworld. As though knowing he was tricked, he desperately tried to say the last words, but he completely exploded before he finished. Rumble. This self-destruction was enough to completely erase nearly 3 kilometers of land. After the explosion, Yimo put away the octagonal cauldron, and Du Xiuying saw that only her and Yimo stood in this perimeter. He was willing to say it. Why self-destruct? Du Xiuying asked in shock. Things probably aren't so simple. Yimo seemed to be murmuring to himself. Yimo guessed that either in his bloodline or cultivation method, an extremely cruel restriction was set. If one revoked it, they would self-destruct. This thing definitely had something that stopped the Sand Soul beasts from attacking him, but now that he self-destructed, all clues were gone. Yimo really wanted to go to this person's sect and see what their martial ancestors' relationship with Lu Zhengquan was. How long was I been down there? Yimo asked. 8 days. Du Xiuying quickly replied. Oh shit, Yimo said and released Blue Moon, taking her quickly away. Qianwei told him he could last for 7 days, but this was the 8th day now. Ice Sword Sect and Golden Sword Sect had quite similar names, but the difference in power between the two was immeasurable. Ice Sword Sect was just a 5-star sect, but Golden Sword Sect was an 8-star sect. With the Truth Spirit pills provided by Flowing Snake City, Golden Sword Sect would reach 9 stars in a matter of time. Appearing above the Golden Sword Sect, Du Xiuying was completely dazed. She thought the scene at Fusion Joy Sect was horrendous enough, but now she completely changed her mind. Ice Sword Sect was just a 5-star sect, but they had nearly 1,000 kilometers of land. Now, the sect was completely unseen. There were only spirit-devouring bugs before their eyes for over 1,000 kilometers. With this many, so what even if an immortal came? Du Xiuying shivered but found that as they stopped, countless of them had swarmed over. Even Yimo's skin was crawling. With this many, how could Qianwei stop them? Even he would have to run if he didn't have Heaven Flame 9 Suns. Many of these bugs had devoured cultivator essence blood and reached higher levels. How many cultivators would be needed to annihilate all these spirit-devouring bugs? Yimo took a cold breath in. If Lu Zhengquan set this up, just what did he want to do? Even the Sand Soul beasts could annihilate the cultivation realm. Why send all these spirit-devouring bugs? If the South Peace State was like this, what about North Far State, West Extreme State, and East Black State? Wouldn't they be annihilated already? Brother Yi, we, Du Xiuying was shaking. She didn't feel that scared seeing the Sand Soul beasts, but the spirit-devouring bugs made her completely frightened. Then, Du Xiuying vomited. The terrifying smell and look of the spirit-devouring bugs made her unable to control her disgust. Yimo knew that she really didn't have the courage to keep staying here. The spirit-devouring bugs here were too many and too scary. The reason Yimo didn't attack immediately was because he was trying to find Qianwei with his spirit sense. Soon, Yimo had a joyful look. He saw at the heart of the sect there was a big golden bell. Countless spirit-devouring bugs were hustled there biting the bell, which was covered in craters. But Yimo was shocked to find that the bell was a low-grade immortal artifact. If these bugs could even eat a low-grade immortal artifact, what else in the cultivation realm could they not eat? Yimo knew that Qianwei and them were probably inside the bell. If he came just half a day later, the bell would have disappeared. Du Xiuying still wanted to talk, but Yimo waved his hand and a purple sun was released. It hung in the sky, releasing waves of purple beams. They quickly fell and scattered from a radius of 10 meters to tens of kilometers. Yimo's face went pale. During his solitary cultivation, although the Heaven Flame 9 Suns changed to purple color and his spirit sense also drastically increased due to the spirit nourishing well, he still couldn't stand the use of Heaven Flame 9 Suns. If it was a radius of a few kilometers, he could last longer, but this tens of kilometers radius made it a great struggle for him. Yimo knew that these bugs were different than the Sand Soul beasts. He had to annihilate all the spirit-devouring bugs without a 1,000-kilometer radius. Otherwise, they would run away, and that would be a huge disaster. Almost all the spirit-devouring bugs melted to smoke as soon as the sun shone upon them. Du Xiuying had never seen this, and seeing that the bugs couldn't even last a few seconds, she immediately rejoiced. There was a sudden impulse in her heart. She couldn't describe what it was. When she moved her eyes to Yimo, she was very shocked. Yimo's face was getting more and more pale. White mist was coming out of his body. Clearly, He had been trying his best. Du Xiaoying wanted to talk, but at this moment she realized she couldn't disturb Emo. However, Emo suddenly left Blue Moon. Then, she saw Emo burn his way over. The purple sun above his head shone out countless purple rays. The rays were like fire and turned billions of spirit-devouring bugs to dust. Du Xiaoying's spirit sense followed Emo and soon found that the purple sun increased to a bigger range. Then, she saw Emo burn his way over. The purple sun above his head shone out countless purple rays. The rays were like fire and turned billions of spirit-devouring bugs to dust. Du Xiaoying's spirit sense followed Emo and soon found that the purple sun increased to a bigger range. It increased to nearly 100 kilometers, and Emo's face went from pale to red instead. Du Xiaoying's heart clenched. She knew that Emo was heavily injured. Soon, she realized why Emo expanded the sun. It was because some of them started to run. However, Emo was getting faster and faster, and his sun getting hotter and hotter. In less than half an hour, the heaven-filling spirit-devouring bugs loosened up and disappeared. When Emo circulated the 1,000 kilometers around Ice Sword Sect and finally came before Blue Moon, he couldn't help falling to the ground. The purple sun shrunk and landed before falling onto Emo's head and disappearing. There were only about a few thousand spirit-devouring bugs above in the sky. This wasn't enough to threaten a sect. A slightly higher-powered cultivator would be enough to kill these spirit-devouring bugs. Du Xiaoying quickly controlled Blue Moon to land next to Emo and help protect him. She was very worried. She knew that no one would come harm Emo now, but she was still worried. She had seen what Emo did and knew what he meant to South Peace State. Without Emo, just those sand soul beasts were enough to flip South Peace State over. Sometimes, the more one worried about something, the more it would happen. Although there were only about a few thousand bugs left, and theoretically they should have flew off, they didn't. Instead, they gathered together. Just when Du Xiaoying didn't know what was going on, she heard a sharp shriek. This time, she saw what it was. It was a spirit-devouring bug, but it was so much bigger than the rest. It was completely red and 10 times the size of the rest. Then, it charged at Emo. Du Xiaoying was shook and quickly released her flying sword, hacking at the bug. She thought with her hollow spirit state middle stage power, she could easily kill a bug. But the clash of metal sounded and Du Xiaoying's heart sunk. Her flying sword not only didn't kill the bug but was instead knocked flying away. The bug ignored her and instead charged rapidly at Emo as though it wouldn't stop unless it killed Emo. The few thousand bugs also followed this huge spirit-devouring bug. She quickly set up a shield, but at this moment, she heard another shriek. A figure her spirit sense didn't even notice charged at Emo. Meanwhile, the spirit-devouring bugs quickly crippled hearing this sound. However, that black figure didn't stop there. It charged up fast like lightning. Everywhere it went, spirit-devouring bugs disappeared. Only now did Du Xiaoying see clearly what it was. It seemed to be pea-sized. How did it eat so many bugs that were much larger than it? Finally, this angered the largest bug. It charged at the black figure without fear while the black figure did the same. The two figures clashed together, creating the sound of metal clashing. Then Du Xiaoying heard a crunching sound. But at this moment, Emo got up and Du Xiaoying immediately came up to him. "Are you okay?" Emo smiled. "Thanks for protecting me. I've recovered a lot." That round of Heaven Flame 9 Suns was too exhausting. Although it was impossible to completely recover this quickly, Emo recovered 30% of his power. Du Xiaoying's face went red. She didn't help at all. She couldn't even beat a bug. But Emo didn't say anything. He yelled at the black figure, "Don't eat in such a disgusting way. Hurry up." Then, Du Xiaoying realized that the small pea-sized thing had already eaten the big spirit-devouring bug. Then, the black bug shot in a line and disappeared into Emo's hand. After a while, Du Xiaoying asked in a daze, "Brother Yi, that's your bug? You keep bugs?" She suddenly shivered and imagined a scene where countless of these black bugs circulated Emo, and they were all kept by Emo. Emo nodded. "Yes, this is my bug." The spirit-devouring bug before didn't fear Shadowless because it was possessed. It's probably a cultivator who had enmity with me, so its instinct was to charge at me. Otherwise, all those spirit-devouring bugs would have escaped. Guillemot looked at the bell in confusion. Why doesn't the old monk come out? Is he planning to celebrate New Year inside? Then, Guillemot walked over at the ditched bell. Guillemot reached out his cultivation essence giant hand and opened the bell and found Qianwei was more heavily injured than him. His face was pale like paper. The rest of the people were also heavily depleted in spirit sense and cultivation essence. There were about 100 or so people inside. Other than 7 monks, the rest were probably Ice Sword sect cultivators. However, this sect had mostly female cultivator. Guillemot realized that they used all their spirit sense and cultivation essence to activate the bell that they didn't even have the power left to open it. This old monk had quite the luck. If he was close to the monk, Guillemot would have joked already. Thank you, City Lord Yi. I'm ashamed. I thought I would be able to stop the spirit-devouring bugs, but they were endless. I wasn't even able to survive for a day. We completely relied on the treasure of the Jin Gang Temple to survive. City Lord Ye's power is out of the world. Reaching immortal state, I'm really amazed. Qianwei sighed. Guillemot knew that the old monk was sighing because the bell was ruined and also because they didn't have someone like him in the temple. Some of the Ice Sword sect members who recovered their senses came over to thank Guillemot. They were covered by the bell, but their spirit sense could scan outside. No one could stay calm at the sight of Guillemot using Heaven Flame 9 Suns to instantly annihilate countless bugs. Now, no one doubted that Guillemot killed 11 truth realization state cultivators in a row. Guillemot himself could count for a few hundred truth realization states. Even if a few hundred truth realization states came, they might not be able to annihilate so many spirit-devouring bugs. Guillemot took out recovery pills and let Du Xiuying spread them out. When Qianwei recovered a little, he asked him, Sect Leader Qianwei, why are there only this number of cultivators in the Ice Sword sect? Were the rest devoured by the bugs? Qianwei sighed. Many wanted to use Earth mobility to leave, but none escaped. I made the promise before, and yet today I accomplished nothing and I still needed City Lord Yi to save me. Qianwei was a competitive person as a 9-star sect's head monk. However, he felt a little disappointed that the difference between them was this huge. Guillemot had a great impression of this monk. He shook his head and said, Sect Leader Qianwei, you've helped a lot. If it wasn't for you being here, I'm afraid more sects would have been annihilated. The bugs had some intellect and saw nearly 100 cultivators hiding in the bell. They stopped to finish the bell off. The bugs had some intellect and saw nearly 100 cultivators hiding in the bell. They stopped to finish the bell off. The bugs were communal insects, so when most of the bugs stayed here, the rest stayed too. Qianwei drew countless spirit-devouring bugs here, allowing Guillemot to have the time to annihilate the sand soul beasts first. Seeing Qianwei still feeling embarrassed, Guillemot didn't explain and saluted with his fists, Sect Leader Qianwei. I'm going to the Flame Sea Forbidden Grounds. Then, Guillemot looked at Du Xiuying. Let Sect Leader Qianwei send you back to Mou City. Du Xiuying clearly didn't want to go back. She saw Guillemot annihilate the sand soul beasts and how Guillemot instantly annihilated countless spirit-devouring bugs. She clearly wanted to go to the Flame Sea Forbidden Grounds. Perhaps one day, she would be the only person to see Guillemot save the South Peace State from great calamity all by himself. How could she want to miss such opportunity? But she didn't have an excuse to go. Just when Du Xiuying wanted to find an excuse, Qianwei suddenly said, City Lord Yi, I want to come with you to see the Flame Sea Forbidden Grounds and witness your power again. Guillemot knew the old monk meant this, so he didn't reject upon thinking. Hearing this, Du Xiuying also said, Brother Yi, I also want to go see. I've never been to the Flame Sea Forbidden Grounds. Seeing this, Guillemot released Blue Moon. In that case, let's go together. The rest of the temple monks went back to the sect. The Ice Sword sect was completely destroyed due to this disaster and needed to be rebuilt. He gave Blue Moon to Qianwei to control. Even Blue Moon needed one day to get there, and he could use this time to recover. The Flame Sea Forbidden Grounds was the second most dangerous forbidden grounds in South Peace State. Up until now, No one dares to go in. You would be devoured by the flame sea no matter how powerful you were. Before, the flame sea was terrifying, but you would be fine if you didn't go in as the flame wouldn't flow out. But now, it had become the most terrifying place as the flames started to flow out. Luckily, it wasn't very fast now. However, because the flames were too powerful, almost all the places it leaked to turn to nothing. Nothing could survive under it. Tens of km from the forbidden grounds, more than 10 truth realization state cultivators and tens of disaster transformation state looked helplessly as the flames gradually expanded. The hundreds of cultivators below disaster transformation state couldn't even get near. Other than Qianwei, all the 9-star sect, 8-star sect, and 7-star sect had elders of sect leaders here. Yimo told them to stop the forbidden grounds for half a month, but it was only the 9th day, and they couldn't hold on. All they could do now was at most slow the flames a little. The ones most useful here were Jiling and a few formation grandmaster who came later. They used all materials necessary and set up defense formation after defense formation. This barely held them to the 9th day. If the flames seeped out quickly, it would turn the entire South Peace state into a flame sea within a few years. No one could even come close to here, not even truth realization state. The only thing they could do was set up defense formation and strengthen it with everyone's cultivation essence and spirit sense. But as the flames spread out, it was getting harder and harder to set up formation as the area was getting larger too. We can't guard here anymore. It's pointless to guard it. Even if City Lord Yi comes, there's nothing he can do with this. Abstruse Sound sect leader Jing Fengji looked at the ravaging flames and sighed. The cultivators fell silent. No one doubted his words. Even if they barely held out till Yimo came, it was pointless. Even Yimo wouldn't be able to stop such flames. I believe Yimo has a way. He told us to stop it for half a month. We still have the ability to do so. If we just leave like this, we're not only being irresponsible to City Lord Yi, but also the entire South Peace state. Shan Bingfeng said, we have already lost 6 cauldron filling state and 2 disaster transformation state cultivators for this. If the flames break the formation again and we're still setting up new formation, more cultivators would die if we can't leave in time. Godwind Valley and Mo Ming said heavily. Then, he said, I just got news that spirit-devouring bugs annihilated Ice Sword sect, the Jin Gang Temple sect leader, and 2 truth realization state cultivators. 4 disaster transformation state cultivators were all gone. None escaped from there, and Mo Ming looked around and continued, it's said that the spirit-devouring bugs were endless. They filled the space within 1,000 km radius. After City Lord Yi helped Fusion Joy sect, he went missing in the hive of the Sand Soul beasts. No one would be able to stop even the spirit-devouring bugs, much less the Flame Sea. Even if City Lord Yi didn't go missing, it would be the same result if he came. What? Mo Ming's words shocked all the cultivators here. The spirit-devouring bugs would be able to devour the entire South Peace state, even if the Flame Sea didn't spill. What do we do now? One disaster transformation state sect leader asked. The only way is to leave South Peace state and retreat into the Heartless Sea. Mo Ming said heavily. Then what do we do with all the cultivators here? One truth realization state elder frowned. He meant not only the cultivators, but also the countless mortal cities, sects, and cultivation cities. The population were in the 100 billions. Mo Ming said coldly, we can't care about that much. We don't have the ability to stop the calamity of South Peace state. If we can retreat, then do it. If not, we can only leave things to fate. I disagree. Shan Bingfeng got up. We can't settle all these cultivators in the Heartless Sea, but even if a small amount can live, what about the other people in South Peace state? We weren't born as cultivators, many of us came from ordinary mortals. Now that South Peace state is in danger, we should protect South Peace state and not run. Then what does Elder Shan think we should do? Jing Fengji asked calmly. Clearly, he agreed with Mo Ming. This calamity isn't something that could be stopped with human force. Staying at South Peace state was asking to die. Shan Bingfeng said certainly, things aren't completely hopeless. We should continue to guard the Flame Sea and stop it from expanding. We need to wait at least till City Lord Yi comes and listen to his advice. Elder Shan has high morals, and Mo Ming admires you. But my God Wind Valley has been passed down for tens of thousands of years. I can't let it end in my hands. Mo Ming don't have the resolve of Elder Shan. Goodbye. Then, Mo Ming released his magic artifact. The God Wind Valley cultivators saw this and all released their magic artifact, disappearing. Heaven Demon Sect Shilwan Goddess was the strongest here, and seeing this, she saluted with her fists to Shan Bingfeng and gave her an apologetic look before leaving with her truth realization state elders. Liao, you seem to have something to say? Shilwan saw Liao open her mouth but not say anything. Liao said, Sect leader, I feel we should stay. I know City Lord Ye's power. He never. Shilwan stopped her. I know City Lord Yi, but Liao, do you think he can annihilate 1,000 kilometers of spirit-devouring bugs? Can he force back the flames here? If not, what's the point of staying here? We might as well go Heartless Sea early and find a place to settle. Liao was speechless. With 2 9-star sects leading, Abstruse Sound Sect, Heartless Valley, Heaven Herb Lake, and them all came to bid farewell to Shan Bingfeng. In this short time, only Clear Dream Mosque, Black Eye Sect, Ethereal Immortal Pond, Heaven Star Sect remained. But there were 5 or 6 sects below 8 stars. The rest were some solo cultivators. In this short time, only Clear Dream Mosque, Black Eye Sect, Ethereal Immortal Pond, Heaven Star Sect remained. But there were 5 or 6 sects below 8 stars. The rest were some solo cultivators. For Truth Realization State cultivators, only 2 from Clear Dream Mosque, 1 from Black Eye Sect, and Ji Ling remained. Martial Sister Sect leader, did I do wrong? Seeing so many cultivators leave, Shan Bingfeng was disappointed and asked another Clear Dream Mosque Truth Realization State female cultivator. The sect leader smiled. Martial Sister, if you feel it's right, then do it. There's not right or wrong, only what should be done and what shouldn't be done. If you feel you should do it, then it's right. Mo Ming feels he shouldn't do this. He's not necessarily wrong. Dao Cultivator follows one's heart. Thank you for your teachings, Martial Sister. Bingfeng understands. Shan Bingfeng felt her mind state reach a level higher. She sighed to the rest of the cultivators, those Dao friends who wish to stay with me to defend against the Flame Sea. Please stay. If not, Bingfeng won't think you did something wrong. Please enlighten us, Elder Shan. As long as not all hope is lost, we won't leave. We trust Sect Leader Shan and Elder Shan. We trust City Lord you would have a way to annihilate the spirit-devouring bugs and make it back here in time. A few cauldron-filling states answered, but no cultivators left. Most of the cultivators in the cultivation realm were selfish, but there were some who were selfless. They knew that the death of South Peace State meant that they would have nowhere to go. Instead of dying at the Heartless Sea, they might as well seek that sliver of chance. Of course, some cultivators remained out of respect and craze for Yimo. Shan Bingfeng's heart warmed. Even in the cultivation realm, there were countless cultivators who were willing to die for others. Ji Qianbei will set another defense formation here. Martial Sister and I and Black Ice Sect Truth Realization State Elder will stay at the back to protect this formation. Ji Qianbei and the rest of the cultivators retreat 50 kilometers and set up the last defense formation. As soon as Shan Bingfeng said this, there was a sudden explosion. The defense formation ahead suddenly exploded. Countless terrifying flames spewed out, rushing at the people. Instantly, it crossed half the distance. Before the flames even arrived, some weaker cultivators were feeling dizzy from the heat. Not good. Everyone retreat to a safe place. We don't have time to set up a formation, Ji Ling called out. He didn't expect the formation ahead lasted less than half an hour. According to their experience, it would last at least half a day. During that time, they could set up another formation. The flames were too fast. Body condensation state cultivators and above were fine, but those below couldn't even leave in time. Ji Ling grabbed 2 hollow spirit state cultivators and was about to fly away when he saw a purple sword rays hack over. Thud. The purple sword rays clashed with the flames, making a heavy sound. The crazy flames were severed off by the purple sword rays. Only then did people realize that Yimo was standing beside the flames. The kitchen knife he used turned into a huge sword that was 3 kilometers long and this sword happened to block the opening in the flame sea. Then, EMO threw down tins of formation flags, soon calming the roaring flame sea. City Lord Yi is here. At the same time, all the cultivators who escaped death were overjoyed. However, they dazed again. EMO was a truth realization state cultivator, but why could he stand by the fire completely fine? Only then, a blue figure landed amongst them. Qianwei and Du Xiuying got off Blue Moon. Sect leader Qianwei, you're fine? Ji Ling and Shan Bingfeng asked at the same time. Qianwei said in embarrassment, luckily City Lord Yi came in time and annihilated the spirit-devouring bugs, saving us. I didn't help much. City Lord Yi annihilated hundreds of millions of sand soul beasts and then 1,000 km of spirit-devouring bugs. He's doing the hard work. Hearing this, everyone was completely dazed. Spirit-devouring bugs were no ordinary bugs. Plus, since when were there a few 100 million sand soul beasts? But everyone knew Qianwei wouldn't lie. Everyone thought Mo Ming was finding an excuse to leave, saying there was 1,000 km of spirit-devouring bugs, but now they realized it was true. Either of them were unfathomable terrors, and yet Mo could annihilate them. Just how absurd was Mo? Shan Bingfeng quickly looked at Mo and saw he walked over slowly. The endless flames were stopped by his kitchen knife and some formation flags. City Lord Yi is indeed unparalleled. Even Chujiu Qianbei is probably a little weaker. I believe the South Peace State cultivators won't forget everything City Lord Yi did for us. One female cultivator greeted him. It was a truth realization state level 9. Her face was beautiful, but one couldn't tell how old she was. A pale aqua nun dress covered her body. It was clear dream mosque nun dress. Mo hadn't seen her before, but he guessed she might be the sect leader Shan Yui, Shan Bingfeng's martial sister. Mo quickly saluted with his fists. Mo greet clear dream mosque Shan Qianbei. Thank you for staying here to guard the forbidden grounds. Shan Yui smiled. Shan Bingfeng walked over excitedly and grabbed Mo's hand. Mo, I didn't expect you can sever the flame sea flames with one strike and annihilated 1,000 km of spirit-devouring bugs and the few 100 million sand soul beasts. Thank you. Shan Bingfeng, thank you for everything you did for South Peace State. Mo didn't expect her to be this excited. She even grabbed his hand. Master, you grabbed City Lord Ye's hand? Ling Xiaoshuang reminded awkwardly. Shan Bingfeng immediately noticed this and quickly put down her hands. She was still very excited, however. Yi Qianbei, Pil King Yi, City Lord Yi. All the cultivators looked and greeted Mo with respect. If South Peace State was gone, they would have no place to stay. Mo saved South Peace State, meaning he saved them. They believed Mo could stop the flames. There were more than 10 truth realization state cultivators and tens of disaster transformation state cultivator, but they couldn't stop the flames. When Mo came, he stopped it with one strike. What was more convincing than this? Luckily, they didn't leave. If they did, they wouldn't have the glory of fighting alongside City Lord Yi to annihilate the Flame Sea forbidden grounds. Some cultivators even seemed very prideful. They were waiting for Mo to seal the flames and then use crystal balls to record that they were here. Mo was confused why there were so little cultivators, but he still greeted. Yin Guan was also overjoyed. When he saw Mo come, he knew it was right of him to stay. Then, Ethereal Immortal Pond Ho-Fei Goddess and Heaven Star Sect Ji Shai also came to greet Mo. Then, Mo asked in confusion, why are there only this little people? Where are the rest? Ling Xiaoshuang sneered, those timid people. My master said to stay here for 15 days, but they heard about the 1,000 km spirit-devouring bugs and how Jiangang Temple were all devoured by them. Then, they all wanted to leave South Peace State and hide into the Heartless Sea. Only my master disagreed and stayed. The cultivators who stayed here feel the same. Other than us, there are countless lives in South Peace State. My master said we can't just leave irresponsibly. The rest of the cultivators felt Ling Xiaoshuang spoke their heart. Mo just realized this and had more of a good impression of Shan Bingfeng. Even the past small discomfort was gone. She was excited not for herself but for South Peace State and all of the cultivators in it. Yimo just realized this and had more of a good impression of Shan Bingfeng. Even the past small discomfort was gone. She was excited not for herself but for South Peace State and all of the cultivators in it. Yimo then looked over at Yinguan, Ji Shai, Hofei Goddess and them and expressed his gratitude. He considered South Peace State his base now, and although he blocked the flames with one strike, that was because they hadn't completely exploded yet. If the fire ravaged across the entire South Peace State, how could he annihilate by himself? Even if he annihilated the fires after a long time, South Peace State would become charred earth. Was Mou City to survive on this burned earth? Yimo tested the flames here. It wouldn't be much weaker than the void flame. A place burned by this flame would have no vegetation for countless years. Even spirit chi would be burned away. Haha, Qingxue Goddess came from ethereal immortal pond. Of course, Howei Goddess can't leave. Heaven Star Sect Ji Shai couldn't say much to 9-star Sect Black Ice Sect, but he believed ethereal immortal pond stayed behind for Qingxue. However, Hofei Goddess smiled. That's right. Qingxue from our sect married to City Lord Yi. I feel proud. Of course I want to stay. Pity City Lord Yi doesn't take in Dao partners now, or I would be willing to follow him. Ethereal immortal pond female cultivator have been very formal and goddess-like. They would never show any interest in male cultivators. The sect leader of Ethereal Immortal Pond have always taken on a cold goddess image, but suddenly she said such words. Even Ji Shai and Yinguan couldn't handle this, much less Yimo. Yimo didn't think Hofei Goddess really liked him. There were two possibilities of her saying this. One was to gain his trust to help Ethereal Immortal Pond reach 9-star sect. Another was that she wasn't the cold goddess she showed herself to be. She was an ambitious woman. If she stayed with him, her cultivation path would be extremely smooth. Or perhaps she believed that her looks were on par with Ning Qingxue. If she expressed interest, it wasn't hard for her to stay at Mou City forever. If she thought the first possibility, then Yimo felt he could help her, but if it was the second, then please leave. He hated calculative women. None of the women around him were calculative. Yimo didn't reply to that and said to Jiling and Shambingfeng, Ji Qianbei, wait here for me. I'll go and see why flames are spewing out. You can go inside the flame, see forbidden grounds? Shan Bingfeng asked in shock. Yimo nodded. I can try. If not, I won't force anything. Would the flames break through the purple knife? One disaster transformation state asked worriedly. Yimo smiled. Definitely not. Don't worry. Zisu SAS his magic artifact. He would know if it could stop the flames or not. Seeing Yimo really go inside, everyone was dazed. They saw Yimo's figure slowly disappear into the flames and didn't turn into dust like the previous cultivators. Only Hofei showed some disappointment. Yimo didn't care about what she said at all. City Lord Yi is actually 3-god state body refinement cultivator. How did he do it? Qinwei said in extreme shock. 3-god state body refinement? The cultivators heard this and were dumbfounded. There has never been anyone in the history of Luoyu continent to reach 3-god state body refinement. Yet Yimo was 3-god state? Qinwei sect leader, did you see wrong? Perhaps City Lord Yi has protection magic artifact. The truth realization state elder of Black Ice sect asked in astonishment. The rest of the people all looked at Qinwei in confusion. It was already shocking enough that Yimo was truth realization state tertiary stage at such a young age. If he was 3-god state body refinement too, then it would be terrifying. Even if one started body refinement at birth and had all the resources and didn't cultivate too, he wouldn't be able to reach 3-god state at Yimo's age. Even Clear Dream Mosque sect leader felt it was impossible. The reason Yimo could allow his body refinement to improve so quickly was mainly due to the 3 birth chant and golden page world. Of course, without the Kuan blood, no matter how good the void was for body refinement, he wouldn't be able to reach 3-god state in such a short time. Who would use God Beast blood for body refinement? How many had the 3 birth chant? How many had the chance to body refinement in Void Fisher and go into the golden page world in danger? Yimo had all of them. Seeing everyone in disbelief, Qinwei looked at the flames and said, City Lord Yi probably didn't just reach 3-god state. I believe he's either disaster state or god state. He definitely isn't monarch state. If it wasn't that god state is too shocking, and that legend says truth realization state cultivators can't reach it, I would even guess City Lord Yi is God state. I really don't know where he cultivated this. Shan Yui was very shook. According to her knowledge, God state couldn't possibly appear in the cultivation realm. If Yimo was God state, how did he do it? Shan Yui's surprise wasn't unreasonable. The Black Rock City had been in the Void Fissure for countless years, and countless cultivators' body refinement there. The body refinement condition there wasn't incomparable with others. But even so, the highest body refinement was only Suo Anshan, who was disaster stage peak. Everyone was shook by Qian Wei's words and looked into the flame sea. Although they couldn't see Yimo, but seeing the huge kitchen knife still derelict, they knew Yimo was fine. The sect leaders stopped discussing about Yimo, but the other cultivators did. I saw that Godwind Valley Mo Ming Qian Bei couldn't even get near the flame sea border, and yet City Lord Yi could go into it. The difference is too huge. So what? Didn't you hear sect leader Qianwei say that City Lord Yi annihilated 1,000 km range of spirit-devouring bugs and annihilated a few 100 million sand soul beasts? If he was like other truth realization state cultivators, he wouldn't be able to sever the flame sea flames. Ling Xiaoshuang heard this and also wondered if Yimo was 3 God state body refinement, but she didn't doubt that Yimo annihilated the 1,000 km range of spirit-devouring bugs. Yimo's blue sun was too powerful. It could even annihilate disaster transformation state cultivators. If Yimo used that sun, it would definitely be fine. She saw Du Xiuying standing on the side and suddenly walked over. She knew Du Xiuying came with Yimo and wanted to ask her some things. Xiuying greet Martial Sister Ling Shuang. Du Xiuying greeted. Ling Xiaoshuang quickly said, Xiuying, we're similar age, just say my name. By the way, did you come with Yimo? Du Xiuying nodded. Yes, brother Yi saved me and took me over. Ling Xiaoshuang dazed. She thought Du Xiuying would call Yi Mo City Lord Yi, but she called him brother Yi so naturally. She subconsciously asked, you call him brother Yi? Then she realized her question was problematic. Why couldn't she do that? Du Xiuying didn't realize what Ling Xiaoshuang meant and nodded, yes, I've left Fusion Joy Sect. I'm not a part of them now. Brother Yi saw I had no place to go, so he's planning to take me to Imoyu City. Xiaoshuang, if you come to Imoyu City, you can come find me. You left Fusion Joy Sect? Ling Xiaoshuang subconsciously asked, and then she added, that's good. That sect is too dirty. Sorry, Xiuying, I'm not talking about you. Du Xiuying said sadly. Xiaoshuang, it's okay, but I don't really want to talk about my sect. Du Xiuying said sadly. Xiaoshuang, it's okay, but I don't really want to talk about my sect. Ling Xiaoshuang realized she said something wrong and touched her face awkwardly. The atmosphere grew heavy. Soon, she thought of another problem. Yimo didn't seem to be very enthusiastic to her, and was even a little cold. Why was he so nice to Du Xiuying? In looks, she was better than Du Xiuying. Du Xiuying was ranked 9th while she was ranked 2nd. The deeper Yimo went, the more hotter it got. It didn't hurt him due to his God state body refinement, but Yimo grew more and more careful. This wasn't at the depth yet, and the temperature was so high. What would the temperature at the depth be? Would it be more powerful than the void flame? The flame sea forbidden grounds was dark red. Yimo's spirit sense couldn't extend further in this pace. Compared to the blue sand ditch, this was a real inferno hell. Yimo reached his God state at the depth of the void flame. However, the surface temperature of the void flame was much greater than the depth. Yimo knew that after reaching God's state, the depth temperature of the void flame was nothing, but he didn't know if he could take on the surface temperature. The flame sea forbidden grounds was the opposite. The outside temperature was lower, but the deeper he went, the higher the temperature. Yimo felt that if he went a few km deeper, that temperature wouldn't be lukewarm temperature anymore. It was getting more and more scorching. Yimo started to sweat more and more. At this moment, Yimo was certain the temperature here was completely beyond void flame. There was such high temperature in the cultivation realm. Yimo couldn't understand it all. Yimo stopped and released Octagonal Cauldron. Even though he had God's state body refinement, but if the flames from the depth suddenly swept over, he would be seriously injured. After using the Octagonal Cauldron, the flames felt weaker a lot. Yimo breathed easy, just when he wanted to go further, he saw a small fist-sized gray rock. Yemo felt it was unusual, so he picked it up. When he scanned his spirit sense inside, he called in shock, "Extreme Flame Star Gold?" This was extreme-grade forgery material. It rarely appeared in the cultivation realm and was ranked as level 10 material. But Yemo was forgery grandmaster, and he knew that this ore was definitely beyond level 10. He wasn't sure of the exact level, though. They usually appeared in the void of higher realms. Thus, Yemo was so shocked. How could this ore appear here? Yemo watched more intently with his spirit sense, and soon, he found a second, a third, and even more. The largest was bigger than a bucket. Regardless if he could quench the flames here, Yemo knew he discovered a fortune. Although his Zissou was top grade, he felt Zissou wasn't good enough when fighting with that hollow immortal. This meant Zissou needed to be upgraded. He had a lot of top-grade materials, but he didn't feel there were enough of them to deserve to be used in Zissou. However, the Extreme Flame Star Gold was very suitable. Yemo kept searching as he went until a tear sound woke him up. He had walked to the deepest part of the Flame Sea Forbidden Grounds. The terrifying flames swept past the octagonal cauldron, tearing some clothes and armor from him. As soon as they were taken by the flame, they completely disappeared. Even with the protection of the octagonal cauldron, Yemo's body was roasted red. Yemo knew that if this still wasn't the deepest part, he wouldn't be able to go down anymore. He couldn't bear this temperature anymore, even with God State body refinement. Yemo reached out his spirit sense carefully. Spirit sense would be easily injured here. Soon, Yemo's spirit sense locked onto a palm-sized ore. It wasn't really an ore, it was more like a piece of tofu. Yemo saw it waving around in the flame. Yemo had a strange feeling that this tofu was the source of the entire Flame Sea Forbidden Grounds. All the flames of the Forbidden Grounds was let out by it. Without it, the flames would immediately disappear. This was too strange. It was so small and soft. How could it let out such terrifying heat? Yemo carefully used his spirit sense to look at the inside of it, but before he could, he felt a huge pain in his sea of consciousness. Then, he spat a huge mouthful of blood. Yemo quickly ate a few spirit recovery pills. He was shook. Yemo didn't stay outside. He went into the Golden Page world and started forging formation flags. In here, there was no material that could withstand this terrifying heat except for Extreme Flame Star Gold. Yemo was probably the only to use Extreme Flame Star Gold to forge formation flags. Another person wouldn't even be able to melt the Extreme Flame Star Gold. They would at least high-level Heaven Flame. His Mist Lotus Heart Fire was purple, so it was fine melting the Extreme Flame Star Gold. 2 hours later, Yemo appeared inside the Forbidden Grounds again. He didn't scan the tofu with his spirit sense again. He took out formation flags and carefully sealed this soft ore and then marked restrictions on it. Normally, he would be able to do it in a second, but for this ore, Yemo used 4 hours to seal it. Then, Yemo took out a box made with Extreme Flame Star Gold and placed the soft ore into the box before setting up multiple restrictions. Then, Yemo placed it in the furthest corner of the Golden Page world. It was a few thousand km from his bitter bamboo and spirit herb gardens. All his fortune was in the Golden Page world. If that was lost, then no matter how valuable this ore was, it wouldn't be worth. Yemo would check this ore later. After the ore was taken away, Yemo felt the temperature drop immediately. It was dropping faster and faster until it was same as ordinary flames. Soon, as the flames went down, the surrounding space showed. This space had been burned by the terrifying flames for countless years. It had formed a dark gray color. Some Extreme Flame Star Gold showed, and Yemo quickly started collecting them. Yemo had been in the Forbidden Grounds for more than half a day. Some cultivators outside began to worry. If it wasn't that Yemo's Zissou was still there, they would have thought Yemo had died. Everyone look, the flames are receding. One cauldron-filling state pointed at the Flame Sea in joy. Everyone saw this too. The flames retreated like the tide. Everyone rushed up to Zissou. They knew the flames were receding, but no one dared to go in. Everyone stood beside Zissou looking at the flames in disbelief. They thought that however powerful Yemo was, he would at most be able to seal the flame sea. However, he was reseeding the flames instead. City Lord Yi indeed has heavenly power. In just half a day, he would make the flame sea recede. Qianwei sect leader said in shock. Even he saw with his own eyes Yemo annihilate the spirit-devouring bugs. He was still shook again. Yemo had a heaven flame cultivation method and thus countered the bugs. Thus he could annihilate them. But reseeding the flames wasn't something that a cultivation method could deal with. Ordinary people wouldn't even be able to go and much less reseed the flames. Yet, Yemo did it. City Lord Yi indeed has heavenly power. In just half a day, he would make the flame sea recede. Qianwei sect leader said in shock. Even he saw with his own eyes Yemo annihilate the spirit-devouring bugs. He was still shook again. Yemo had a heaven flame cultivation method and thus countered the bugs. Thus he could annihilate them. But reseeding the flames wasn't something that a cultivation method could deal with. Ordinary people wouldn't even be able to go and much less reseed the flames. Yet, Yemo did it. Qianwei was only Truth Realization State Level 3, but he was much older than Truth Realization State Level 9 Shan Yui. He was very enthusiastic about the things in the cultivation realm. His words could resonate with the people here more. There were only about 30 people here, but everyone had a fire in their hearts. They didn't do anything to help with this, but they were involved in this battle. They didn't retreat from the beginning to the end. Now that the flames had receded, they were also very excited and honored. Everyone knew that since the flames have retreated, but no one went in. The weakest here was nascent soul state, so they weren't dumb. The flame sea forbidden grounds had been burned for countless years. There would definitely be many top-grade materials there. Since Yemo didn't say anything, it would be disrespectful of them to go in. Yemo's status was very high in their hearts now, and no one wanted to disrespect him. At this moment, the kitchen knife suddenly flew up and disappeared into the depth of the forbidden grounds. Yemo appeared in their spirit sense, and everyone heard Yemo's voice. Everyone, the flames have been annihilated by me. There are large amounts of extreme flame star gold inside. Go in and find them. They belong to whoever finds them. Good luck, everyone. Extreme flame star gold? Everyone was dazed by this news. This was very rare top-grade material in the cultivation realm. It was said it was beyond level 10, and a fingernail-sized one was worth a fortune. Yet, Yemo said there was quite a lot inside. What was going on? But everyone believed Yemo, so everyone charged into the forbidden grounds without hesitation. Even Shan Yui was excited. Her mind state was very high, but it didn't mean she could remain calm about extreme flame star gold. The flames had completely receded now, and despite the temperature still being very high now, it was enough for even golden core state cultivators to handle. Plus, the temperature would only get lower and lower as time went on. In a short time, everyone came to the depth of the flame sea forbidden grounds. So this is a gray rinkland, some cultivators exclaimed. It's probably burned to a rink by the flames. It might not be like this before. Other than a few sect leader chatting with Yemo, more cultivators were searching for the extreme flame star gold. There really is extreme flame star gold? I found such a large piece. One hollow spirit state grabbed a longan-sized rock and called out in joy. With this, more and more people were crazed. Even the sect leader couldn't resist searching for extreme flame star gold. Soon, more and more people found extreme flame star gold. Yemo only took some big ones. He didn't even pick up many of the small ones. Yemo suddenly thought of a question. The Flame Sea Forbidden Grounds had been around for an extremely long time. Why did it suddenly burst out coincidentally the same time as Lu Zhengquan's disaster on South Peace State? Yemo didn't believe Lu Zhengquan left that or behind. Yemo felt it was extremely precious. How can Lu Zhengquan leave such thing behind? But this was very hard to say. His view was limited to the cultivation realm. Perhaps that or wasn't worth anything in the cultivation realm. Thinking about this, Yemo walked to Qianwei, who was picking up an extreme flame star gold. Seeing this, Qianwei stopped. Sect leader Qianwei, I want to ask how long had this Flame Sea Forbidden Grounds been around for? Why are there so many extreme flame star gold? What flames would be needed to create them? Yemo asked. Qianwei thought and answered, the flame sea has been in South Peace State since antiquity. I'm not very clear if it's 100,000 or million years, but it's said that every year, the flames would expand out a little, but the range is very small. A completely outburst like this had never happened before. Yemo breathed easy. In that case, Lu Jingquan couldn't have possibly set it up. Lu Jingquan probably didn't come here as well, or there was no way he wouldn't take that ore. Being able to release such heat after 1,000,000 years, it was definitely no ordinary ore. Qianwei continued, I'm only heard of extreme grade, and this is my first time seeing it. It's said it belongs in the void. I really don't know why it's here. Only a forgery grandmaster with heaven flame would be able to add it to magic artifact. Yemo nodded. It was indeed from the void. The Flame Sea Forbidden Grounds was small, but with so many high-level cultivators here, the extreme flame star golds were quickly searched clean. Luckily, everyone got something, at least 2 extreme flame star gold. Seeing this, Yemo said, friend, thank you for staying and guarding the Flame Sea Forbidden Grounds. I'm willing to help everyone concoct a cauldron of pills. The time would be half a month later at Flowing Snake City. Everyone can go find me there with Spirit Herb. With this promise, everyone rejoiced and all went up to thank Yemo. Yemo left a flying sword to do Xiaoying and said, Xiaoying, go back to Mou City with Qianwei sect leader. I still need to go Ju Fu Mountain. Everyone knew that Yemo was going for the firebug demon. Du Xiaoying knew she couldn't find an excuse to go with Yemo this time and nodded helplessly. Seeing that Yemo was about to leave again and everything he did was for the South Peace State, everyone was more and more grateful of Yemo. Even Shan Yui took out a jade card in excitement. City Lord Yi, this is our Clear Dream Mosque jade card. If you need our help, please ask. Seeing this, Qianwei, Yingguan and them all did the same. Those sects below 8-star thought Yemo wouldn't take their sect card, but Yemo took them all and thanked. Everyone knew that at Yemo's power level, he didn't need the help of other sects at all. Ling Xiaoshuang was in the Clear Dream Mosque and thus had a very indifferent attitude towards relationship, but seeing Yemo give Du Xiaoying a flying sword before leaving, she felt a little unhappy. Immediately, she cast that aside, feeling her mentality was very stupid. The incident at the Flame Sea had ended, and Yemo left. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.